It's Monday, February the 9th. Today, healing children and families. Winnipeggers drove through a donation Saturday to help children and families experiencing child abuse-related hardships. Also, will U.S. President Trump keep CUSMA? Amid a bitter trade war, there remains a cloud of uncertainty on what will happen next. And artificial intelligence takes on cancer care, the clinical trial that dramatically changes treatment for prostate cancer. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday to you. Hopefully you're not too tired from the Super Bowl last night. And Ainsley McPhail is live this morning with Hood and Dagger telling us about their brand new production. It's called The 39 Steps. We're going to find out more about that show. But the weather this weekend was incredible.
Wasn't it?
Went for a walk on the river, enjoyed it. It was so lovely. Are we going to get more of that?
Yeah, there were a lot of folks out on the river, or really just anywhere. I mean, if you were out on the streets, you probably got a little bit messy, yes. Right? It was a mild weekend with these well above seasonal temperatures that are actually going to continue now throughout today and most of this week. So here we are waking up at 1 degree. Now it was actually warmer just a couple of hours ago. Our early morning temperature, well, just after midnight, so if you call that morning or middle of the night, 3 degrees. +3. Now we're down to 1, and we'll actually continue likely to lose another couple of degrees throughout the day today, so that temperature will be falling but still remaining incredibly mild and well above seasonal. A bit of a breeze this morning. It's out of the west, 33 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. Humidity is sitting at 82%. So yes, even with that temperature dropping off another couple of degrees, it will remain incredibly beautiful, balmy, well above normal. As far as clouds go, there's a few of them out this morning, but once that sun rises, 10 minutes to 8 o'clock, we will be able to see that sun shining through those clouds. Now, there will be areas just to the north of us that'll likely experience slightly heavier clouds and probably even a little bit of precipitation. Some light and scattered flurries through central northern Manitoba will remain on the clearer side today, or at least with some sunshine. But then into the overnight hours, the possibility that we too get clipped with just a little bit of that flurry activity, and probably we'll see some slightly heavier clouds lingering around tomorrow. Not that there won't be sunshine. It will eventually kind of clear out somewhat, but perhaps first thing in the morning, a few extra clouds for tomorrow. Still, though, these really mild temperatures, even though tomorrow will be probably a little bit cooler, maybe the coolest of the week at -6 for tomorrow. That's still well above seasonal. -9 now. That is a normal daytime high. So today we'll be dropping off. Tomorrow just a little bit cooler, but again, still well above seasonal. But speaking of well above seasonal, we've still got some plus digits or temperatures that'll hover right around the freezing mark at times throughout the week.
Thank you, Terry. Protesters gathered at CF Polo Park on Sunday to show their solidarity with Iranians.
We have people that their family member is arrested, and they're so worried about them because now they show that without going through a legal process, they just execute people, and just because they just be in the street.
About 60 people gathered at the parking lot of CF Polo Park Sunday afternoon, voicing opposition to the Iranian regime's crackdown on protesters. The lion and sun flags were seen, along with signs showing casualties from the crackdown. Volunteer Azali Parsai says they are bringing awareness, calling for a democratic and secular country led by the exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Pahlavi, currently living in the U.S., has been vocal on the protests on his social media in support of the protesters. The nationwide protests in Iran started in late December, expressing anger over cost of living and water and electricity shortages. Winnipeg police are investigating a fatal house fire over the weekend near downtown. Around 10 a.m. on Saturday, firefighters were sent to the house in the 300 block of Agnes Street in the St. Matthews neighborhood. What you are seeing here is about 20 minutes after it was brought under control, which was around 2:30 p.m. 3 people were sent to hospital in critical condition and 2 in stable condition. 2 more were assessed by paramedics, but they were not sent to hospital. On Sunday, police said 2 of the 3 people in critical condition, 2 women, ages 18 and 48, died from their injuries. The WPS Major Crimes Unit is now leading the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the unit at 204-986-6219 or Crime Stoppers. A corner grocery store in Winnipeg's downtown is closed. Ashdown Market opened 3 years ago and was one of the only places to buy groceries in the Exchange District. And its owners say crime played a part in emptying the shelves. CTV's Harrison Shin explains.
Household stuff was right here in the middle. Produce.
For 3 years, this empty space was filled with groceries, Slurpees, and more. But now, the Ashdown Market is closed for business, and co-owner Josh Giesbrecht says safety became a factor over time.
We started to see a steady decline in traffic, specifically people coming to the neighborhood within Winnipeg. We saw a huge drop, and that goes to all the crime and public safety concerns that downtown Winnipeg has unfortunately been experiencing.
He started the business as a cannabis shop, but later added a grocery section serving a neighborhood with few options.
I am sad to see them go because, Point Douglas Exchange District does continue to face some food insecurities.
Area Councillor Vivian Santos says while the city has been working to address the safety concern, more should be done.
Needless to say, it's still not an excuse for, our Exchange District residents. The fear there is real.
For a worker at a neighboring coffee shop, it's going to be tough without the market.
We often rely on Ashdown Market for emergency groceries, if we need to pick up milk or tomatoes in a pinch. So them leaving is going to be a bit of a bummer for us.
Giesbrecht says the market also hosted Lucy's Comedy Club, named after another co-owner Marley Mecca's dog, and the club will try to find a new home in Winnipeg. He says while the safety issues became serious, he is also ready to move on.
We wanted to set off the alarm that the downtown issues are serious. We wanted people to know we're thankful. We're not angry or bitter or anything like that. We're very thankful we got the chance.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
2 more Toronto officers have been suspended as part of the project dubbed Project South. At this time, they are not facing charges. The investigation looked at allegations of police corruption and links to organized crime. 7 Toronto police officers and 1 retired member already face 46 charges that include taking a bribe, obstructing justice, and breach of trust. 3 officers from the Peel region just outside Toronto are also facing charges. Players from Canada's men's Olympic hockey team have touched down in Italy ahead of their first match Thursday against Czechia. The team has named 2-time Olympic gold medalist Sidney Crosby as captain. Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers and Cale Makar of the Colorado Avalanche are the alternates. This is the first time NHLers are back at the Olympics since the Sochi Games in 2014. Manitoba's health agency is asking anyone who attended Manitoba Ag Days in Brandon to monitor for symptoms of measles this week. Manitoba Health says that's because they may have been exposed to the disease while attending the event in January from the 19th to the 21st. The agency says those who visited nearby tourist areas such as hotels, restaurants, and shops during the week of the event may have also been exposed. The event's website describes Ag Days as Canada's largest indoor farm show. Winnipeggers drove through in style on the weekend, bringing donations to support children and families experiencing child abuse-related hardships. The Toba Centre for Children and Youth held its first Hurting Hope Comfort Kit drive on Saturday. Supporters brought toothpaste, shampoo, body wash, board games, and snacks, all needed for hotel stays. Centre's CEO Christy Dekowitz says that's because many children and families coming to the centre are often from outside of Winnipeg and need to stay in hotels. She hopes the donations can make their time in Winnipeg more comfortable.
We all know that coming to Toba Centre and being a part of this experience isn't something we want for kids. We can't change that fact, but we can do is change things going forward. So what would you want when you're cooped up in a hotel room, right? Like coloring books, card games, all of those types of things. Anything that we think can make a family feel much more comfortable and at ease.
Dekowitz adds the donations let the families know that Manitobans are behind them and support them. Donations can be made year-round, and more information is available at tobacentre.ca. A visit to a Western Manitoba community could land you in jail without the criminal record. The former Westman RCMP detachment in McCreary has been converted into an Airbnb property. Owner Rosie Péloquin tells CTV News the jailhouse features 2 bedrooms in the old cells with enough beds for 6 inmates. It also has a full kitchen, bathroom, indoor parking space, and outdoor patio area. The listing says you can check off a night in the slammer from your bucket list while enjoying all of these features. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Confusion Corner. Things are starting off really well. It's pretty mild out there right now. A little messy, though, to keep that in mind as you head out this morning. Let's go now to Ainsley Vickvale. We're talking about Hood and Dagger and their brand new production. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Gotta love community theater. It's a combination of mystery and comedy with the 39 steps. It follows the story of a Canadian, Richard, who gets caught up in an international conspiracy when somebody is murdered in the flat. This, though, is 100% volunteer run, and these productions are spectacular, happening at the Gas Station Theatre on February 26th, running until March 1st. Throughout this morning, we are fortunate enough to get live performances, multiple, and there's a charity component too. Proceeds are going to Agape Table, and there's a 50-50 raffle so that you could take home some serious cash while helping out an incredible cause. Stay with us throughout the morning for some monologues, maybe? Not from yours truly, I can assure you that.
Okay. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. A little bit of a breeze this morning, Terry.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a breeze. You're right about that. And that'll likely be the case over the course of the day and perhaps over the course of the next couple of days. Overnight and still tomorrow, we'll be dealing with a noticeable breeze, but also noticeably mild and beautiful temperatures. Where we're sitting right now puts us well above seasonal. A normal low would be -19. We're sitting at -1 now. That is down from last hour when we were sitting at +1, and we might even continue to watch that temperature drop off another couple of degrees throughout the day today. That wind at the moment is 26 clicks out of the west. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 83%. Now, I'm still standing out here in the dark. With 10 to 8 is when the sun officially begins to rise, but I can see the couple of clouds out here this morning. There is enough space for that sun to shine through them, so we will be enjoying some of that sun eventually. And over the course of the next few days, it will be pretty balmy. While we'll enjoy some of that sunshine and the above seasonal temperatures, there will be that lasting breeze too over the next couple of days. And while we're going to still be above seasonal, those temperatures will drop throughout the day today, a little more overnight, and then tomorrow will be slightly cooler. But even slightly cooler, our coolest day of the week will still be several degrees above what you would expect this time of year. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Good morning. 2 people were sent to a hospital after a car crash on Sunday. In an email to CTV News, Winnipeg police say officers were sent to the 700 block of St. Mary's Road just before 10:30 a.m. on Sunday after a report of a single motor vehicle collision. One blue pickup truck was seen near the intersection of St. Mary's Road and Fermor Avenue with visible damage. 2 occupants were sent to a hospital, one in stable condition, but the other in unstable condition. The Central Traffic Division is investigating. Trade is at the heart of the Canadian economy, which is why the future of the free trade agreement with the U.S. and Mexico is being monitored so closely. CTV's Kamel Karamali reports.
In a year when the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade deal, or CUSMA, is up for review amid a bitter trade war, there remains a cloud of uncertainty on what will happen next.
He says different things at different times.
Now on CTV's Question Period, Canada's outgoing ambassador to the U.S. unsure on whether U.S. President Donald Trump will even keep CUSMA or scrap it altogether.
I think that the president has a strong view around the U.S. being able to do more itself. How that translates with respect to this treaty, I don't know.
The U.S. has tried to do more without Canada and Mexico, announcing a sweeping deal with China in November, a deal where Chinese President Xi Jinping has already delivered on his end of the trade pact, according to the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury.
They've completed their soybean purchases. It's my belief that President Trump is the only world leader who Xi respects.
While also trying to limit other countries from relying on China, Prime Minister Mark Carney drawing Trump's ire after a preliminary trade deal with China last month. But former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland appearing Friday on an American talk show with this message to the U.S.
The world's democracies will be really much poorer if you guys don't get your act together.
Her take, a deal with China should not be Canada's first choice.
Because a world in which we need to start relying on China, this is not a world where human rights matter. This is not a world where democracy matters.
But it might end up being one of Canada's more reliable options, with growing calls to reduce dependency on the U.S. as CUSMA enters the most consequential phase of its existence since it was signed. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
A local soccer club hosted a polar bear lunch outside on Saturday for a good cause. The Luso Canadian Soccer Club hosted the event in support of cancer research. Some people were wearing shorts. Organizers say it started back when a Portuguese restaurant called Picasso's at Sargent Avenue and Maryland Street hosted the event for cancer research. And now they're trying to keep the tradition alive.
You know, my dad just passed away from cancer last year. Jose's lost a sister in the past to cancer, and other people that we know have lost family members to cancer. So it just seemed like a great idea to make an awareness for the event, and what better awareness than to being outside when it's cold, having lunch in your shorts.
Club member Mario Lopez adds there are many reasons and people to continue the fight against cancer. While this year's event was held on a fairly mild day, the club's vice president, Jose Vieira, says they hope to do it next year too, in colder conditions. Newcomers in Winnipeg got a warm welcome this weekend by embracing the cold. The True North Youth Foundation's Camp Manitou hosted its 8th annual Welcome to Winnipeg event on Sunday. The two-day event introduced newcomer families to classic Canadian winter activities like snowshoeing, hockey, tobogganing, and cross-country skiing. About 100 newcomers participated each day, many of them trying these activities for the first time.
I was just talking to one of the dads here. Their daughter had never been on skates or held a hockey stick, and she's out here passing the puck with one of our coaches already. So hopefully that leads to them getting a pair of skates, and they can go to the community center, get a stick, and play hockey, and watch the Jets on TV and fall in love with the game.
Camp Manitou's director, Jeff Hoffer, says families came from a wide range of backgrounds, Ukraine, Brazil, and more. He hopes to grow the event even bigger in the future, expanding from 2 days to 7 or 8 days. The Seattle Seahawks have won the Super Bowl.
Seattle reigns above them all in the NFL. The Seahawks, Super Bowl champions for the second time.
Seattle scored 4 field goals in the first 3 quarters before getting their first touchdown. They would extend their lead in the 4th quarter to put the game out of reach, beating the New England Patriots 29-13 to win the Super Bowl. The win marks the Seahawks' 2nd title in franchise history, the first since Super Bowl 48 back in 2014. Kenneth Walker took home Super Bowl MVP, recording 135 rushing yards on 27 carries. NASA scientists have shared this incredible perspective of the auroras. Their time-lapse shows green auroras dancing across Earth, as well as the orange glow of our atmosphere. It's a great reminder of how Earth is constantly interactive with space far beyond what we can see here on the ground. Beautiful. All right, here's some road closures to remind you about this morning. Toronto Street will be closed from Notre Dame to Wellington Avenue following the rush hours. The eastbound curb lane on William Avenue will be closed between Adelaide and Princess Street, and the westbound curb lane on Higgins Avenue will be closed from Accorez to Curtis Street. If you see any problems out on the streets, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. It is a beautiful start to your morning. It's a little bit breezy, don't get me wrong. You're going to notice that wind, but it doesn't have the kind of bite that it would if we were dealing with cold or frigid temperatures. That's not at all the case this morning. We actually started the day in the plus digits. We've dipped a couple of degrees now here in Winnipeg. We're sitting at -1, but you can see much of the rest of southern Manitoba is either at the freezing mark or a couple to 3 degrees above freezing. Then there's Dauphin at -3. We've got some -6, -8 moving through central Manitoba, and then up into the north you are pushing up into those mid to high minus teens, but still overall, and especially compared to what is normal for this time of year, we're looking at these above seasonal temperatures that'll last throughout the, well, I was going to say throughout the day, yes, but throughout the week, really. There are some extra clouds out there, not as many right over the Winnipeg area. You can see it's going to be clearing out, or I'll tell you, it's going to be clearing out nicely, enough that we can see some sunshine once it rises. 10 to 8 is official sunrise this morning, so we will be enjoying that sun pretty much throughout the day. The temperatures themselves might continue to drop off a bit from -1 as kids get settled into the classroom, -2 through the lunch hour, and down to -3 by the time they're coming home again. That's pretty much our coolest temperature, but then it'll continue to drop overnight, and tomorrow not rising as high, but when you compare it to a seasonal high of -9, we're still doing pretty well tomorrow at -6. Warming up even more so as we look through the rest of the week. There will be some sunshine to enjoy and temperatures around the freezing mark, maybe even into the plus digits at times throughout the week. So get your wintertime fun in while you can. This is the scene out in Inglis, and it looks like a whole gang of snowmobilers showed up at the bar there. So thank you for the photo to Terry, and keep them coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. A Calgary artist has the honor of painting the masks for Canada's goalies headed to the Winter Olympics.
Or was he wanted a Calgary/Alberta vibe for his masks. So, you know, still wants a very Canadian kind of leaf on there, but the background stuff, he definitely wanted the Calgary Tower in there. And I kind of asked him if he want to do that kind of that pond hockey scene in front and then the city and the mountains in the back.
One of those goalies is Logan Thompson from Calgary. You can see Dave Freed's work on the ice starting on Thursday when puck drops for Team Canada. The Winter Olympics officially got underway Friday with the opening ceremony taking place in Milan, Italy. And here in Manitoba, a number of sports clubs and bars are gearing up to celebrate. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has more on the Winter Olympic faithful.
Inside the East St. Paul Curling Club, dozens of seniors take the ice for a friendly league match. Regulars here say it's fun to see how their game stacks up against Olympians on the world stage.
When you see it on TV and you're doing it too, you think you can do what they do and you try it. It's a fun. It's a lot of fun.
In the Olympics and stuff like that, you see all these pros doing their bit, and go Canada, go.
Bill Funk and Gerald Tazarski curl multiple times a week. Both men say they'll have their eyes glued to the competition overseas. The Winter Olympics gives them an extra sense of camaraderie among friends right now.
We watch all the curling. I love all the skiing and the sledding and all that. Big hockey fan. Curling, absolutely. Just love the Winter Olympics.
Curling Club General Manager Rob Mall says there is a buzz in the air at the rink. They are encouraging curlers to dress up in all Canadian colors, and Olympic trivia is featured on site. Mall says it's another opportunity to grow the sport with other generations.
We really anticipate an Olympic bump. It's going to reach people that don't normally watch your sport. And what we're also doing is towards the end of the Olympics, we're doing a tri-curling event here at the Curling Club as well. So if people watched it on TV, they have an opportunity to come and try it.
And it's not just creating a buzz for sports clubs. Inside Elephant and Castle, General Manager Dwight Benson says he hopes to extend their hours for the Canadian hockey crowd. They would have to open earlier to accommodate the time difference in Italy.
We're going to be opening for all the Canada games. So if they make it to the gold medal game, we'll be open at that 7:40 slot, and we're going to be open for the Thursday game on the 12th for 8 o'clock.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
No word yet if Manitoba will follow Saskatchewan's lead and consider serving alcohol as early as 5 a.m. Did you know there's a common household tool that's vital to making the perfect ice sculpture?
A big part of building all the statues is ironing. So ironing kind of gives it that nice glossy finish. So we'll be ironing over all of our ice. We're going to be installing some more ice and then building up small details like shingles on the house or faces.
Students at Michigan Tech University's Winter Carnival worked all night for the annual snow statue competition. These take more than one night. The statues have been in the planning in earlier building stages long before. All right, here's a look outside now at what's happening on McPhillip Street. Looks things are moving quite well over here. If you see any problems, let us know, please. We're going to be right back after this.
There's that camera shaking. Yeah, it's a little bit breezy out there, but also very, very mild, so that wind isn't adding a nasty bite the way it would sometimes if we were dealing with, say, seasonal temperatures or colder than. -1 is where we're sitting right now. West winds 26 clicks. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 83%. It was incredibly mild all weekend long. Messy, slushy out on the streets. I'm sure you went through a jug of windshield wiper fluid if you were out driving around with errands to run and whatnot. Well, we're going to experience more of that pretty much all throughout the week. However, today the temperature isn't going to continue to warm up. In fact, it'll probably drop off a few degrees as the day goes on. Now that you can see the clouds a little more dense through central and northern Manitoba, that's where there will actually be a little bit of flurry activity today. Here in the south, we're actually in for some lighter cloud, and enough so that the sun will be shining through. So it will be pleasant, fairly sunny, a few clouds here or there, but the temperature I mentioned dropping off. We could end up at about -3 later today with winds out of the northwest at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Now then, overnight we're going to continue to watch that temperature drop off down to -8, but again, compared to a normal low of -19, we are still well above that. And in fact, a normal daytime high would be -9, and we're going to remain above that even in the overnight hours. That breeze will still be in place. There's the possibility of some flurries. That same system that'll bring snow to central and northern Manitoba today could be passing through overnight. Just a little bit of scattered snow. Tomorrow, sunshine returns. Temperatures slightly cooler than the rest of the week, but still above what you would expect, and then warming even more so as the rest of the week goes on. We could be back up around the freezing mark, maybe even into the plus digits, and staying there right as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. A Winnipeg police holiday blitz aimed at cracking down on retail theft has bagged dozens of arrests and nearly 200 criminal charges. The Safe Shop Project deployed additional officers in December to retail areas in a push to curb criminal activity. Police say 72 people were arrested through the initiative, which started in 2024. 7 of the top 10 most wanted for retail thefts were also arrested, bagging 85 charges. Police recovered more than $23,000 in stolen property. Winnipeg police have seized nearly $200,000 in drugs along with guns and cash following an investigation last month. The Guns and Gangs unit executed 2 search warrants on January 28th, one at a business in the 300 block of Nassau Street North and the other at a home on William Tweed Terrace. They found cocaine, fentanyl, raw marijuana, and other illicit drugs during the searches. Police also seized 24,000 contraband cigarettes, more than $8,300 in cash, 2 guns, and 5 watches worth about $70,000 combined. 3 men aged 23, 38, and 39 are facing a slew of drug and weapons-related charges. A 27-year-old woman is also facing drug charges. Measles continues to be a threat here in Canada and around the world as health agencies urge governments to do more. One Canadian mother is sending out a warning about the long-term risks of a measles infection. CTV's Kathy Lee has her story.
This is Kimmy today, a happy 15-month-old. We first met her last year after she contracted measles as a baby, too young to be vaccinated. And while she appears well, her mom, Morgan Birch, says measles isn't something you just get over. The disease has weakened Kimmy's immune system.
She's had a few episodes of flu. She's had about 3 or 4 year infections. 10 or 11 years from now, she can, her brain can swell and she can die.
The warning comes as an international health agency calls on multiple countries, including Canada, to do more to stop the spread.
Training healthcare workers to transmit confidence on vaccines to people, update the way that the healthcare services are offering vaccines.
About 5,500 cases of measles have been recorded nationwide since the outbreak began last fall, a surge that cost the country its measles elimination status. While measles infections have slowed down or stopped across the country, Health Canada data shows in 2026, a total of 94 cases have been reported in 6 provinces, with the highest numbers in Manitoba and Alberta.
The number of cases have slowed down, but they're not gone. And we know that tragically measles will continue to circulate until we get to a herd immunity threshold.
To achieve herd immunity, medical experts say 95% of the population needs to be fully vaccinated.
There are areas of the country that are at 95%, but there are others that are substantially below that.
Health Canada says efforts have been made to make vaccines more accessible and to increase education around them. For Birch, that work feels urgent and personal because for her, the consequences of measles are just too real. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
The investigation into the alleged kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie is entering its 2nd week as a purported ransom deadline is set for tonight.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
The mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie was reported missing in Arizona 8 days ago. In a social media video shared over the weekend, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings told the potential kidnappers the family is prepared to pay for her mother's safe return. Reports say a $6 million ransom deadline is set for tonight at 5 p.m. A purported ransom note was sent to CNN affiliate KGUN station, including a threat to Guthrie's life if the deadline isn't met. Investigators believe Nancy was taken against her will from her home February the 1st. The time change debate is back. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is asking if the province should spring forward and stay there.
I think maybe what we need to do is just say, do you want to end the time change? So then we can sort of do some consultation about whether we want standard time year-round or daylight time year-round.
Premier Smith made the comments on her call-in radio show. Alberta already held a referendum on the time change in October of 2021, and 50.2% of people voted to continue the twice-a-year time change. But Premier Smith has also said the question wasn't as clear as it could have been. An upcoming documentary is taking us back to the age of the dinosaurs.
This is the story of the dinosaurs.
The team behind Our Planet, as well as executive producer Steven Spielberg, are taking viewers way, way back in time to the millions of years that saw the rise and fall of the dinosaurs. It's narrated by Morgan Freeman and starts streaming on March the 6th. Here's a look at what's happening right now in traffic along Kenison and Sterling Lyon. It looks like things are still quite light over in this part of the city and moving quite well at this point. If you see any issues, text them to us, please. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is $1.22. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.23, and the lowest price in the city is $1.12. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Ainsley McPhail is live with Hood and Dagger. We're going to find out more about the production you're seeing right here. Stay with us.
Please, no jokes. I am being pursued by a very brilliant secret agent of a certain foreign power.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, such a pleasant start to your morning, such a pleasant weekend that we're coming off of. And if you liked that, you'll like what's ahead this week. While it's likely to be quite messy because of these mild temperatures, it's also going to feel very pleasant as you're stepping outside, running your errands, getting out for a stroll, doing whatever it is that's going to get you out of the house these days. -1 is where we're sitting right now. It actually was in the plus digits earlier this morning, just after midnight, 3 degrees. But we have watched that temperature fall, and we'll continue to see it drop another couple of degrees over the course of the day today. There's a bit of a breeze that we're dealing with. It's out of the west, 26 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 83%. Eventually, the sun will rise, as it does every day. There are a few clouds out here, but I think it'll be able to shine through these clouds, certainly through much of southern Manitoba. A mix of sun and cloud, more so around the Winnipeg area is probably where it'll be the clearest today. Areas through central and northern Manitoba, heavier clouds. There will probably be some scattered snow, and some of that scattered snow could be passing through here in Winnipeg in the overnight hours. Tomorrow might be a little bit cooler than the rest of the week, but still above seasonal. These days -9, that's normal for this time of year. We're going to remain well above that up until the weekend. Let's head on over to where Ainsley is this morning and see what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Good morning, Terry. Hood and Dagger Productions is putting on the 39 steps. I am joined by some of their actors right now, Darcy Johnston and Jen Geek. Thank you so much for being here this morning. How exciting is it to be able to put this on at the Gas Station Theatre?
Oh, very exciting. And I just want to get doing it, you know?
Well, we're going to actually see a live performance this morning, several of them actually. Tell us about the 39 Steps.
The 39 Steps is an incredible spy thriller. It's so funny. It's based on the Hitchcock novel and the book, and it's just an incredible, incredible show.
This is 100% volunteer run, and I understand that there's how many characters you guys are putting on?
150.
Wow, what's that like?
It's, I mean, the work is divided, but it's so fun. Some of us have to wear, literal different hats throughout the scenes, and it's so much work, but it's so fun.
Mm-hmm. Give us an example of some of the characters that you don't have to actually play it right now, but the characters that you'll be playing.
Well, I'm the professor, I'm Mrs. McGarrigle, I'm a policeman, and I'm a crotchety old crofter, and Yeah, there's the milkman. Yeah, it's hard to keep them all straight sometimes.
No doubt. And then when it comes to the production itself, a lot goes into this behind the scenes. For our audience that might not know, actually, you know what? We have to get to the performance. I'm so sorry. I just got the minute cue. Okay, take it away.
Come on!
I can't move. I'm stuck.
Yes, you can.
Oh! Help!
Listen. One more peep out of you, and I'll shoot you first and myself after. I mean it. Now, come on.
Oh, now I'm in a puddle.
Yes, yes, yes. So you are.
Oh, I'm soaked through.
Yes, I never said it'd be easy, Pamela, my darling. Come along. Smell that heather. Makes you glad to be alive, doesn't it?
Yes, it's lovely.
Come along.
Oh, will you stop doing that? And do stop whistling. What are you doing all this for? You can't possibly escape. What chance have you got tied to me?
Save that question for your husband if I were you.
Haven't got a husband.
Oh, lucky him.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 51 points lower. The Nasdaq lost 110 points. The S&P index dipped 17. The Canadian dollar is slightly up to 73.37 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng gained 467 points, and the Nikkei jumped 2,110 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Selkirk residents can expect to see a higher tax bill this year. The city's 2026 budget shows taxes are increasing by nearly 3%. Municipal officials are calling attention to the fact its tax hike is lower than what Winnipeg or Brandon residents are facing. The budget also highlighted more spending commitments for transportation infrastructure, road resurfacing projects, and the development of a new rec center. Winnipeggers drove through in style on the weekend, bringing donations to support children and families experiencing child abuse-related hardships. The Toba Center for Children and Youth held its first Hurting Hope Comfort Kit Drive on Saturday. Supporters brought toothpaste, shampoo, body wash, board games, and snacks, all needed for hotel stays. Center's CEO, Christy Dekowitz, says that's because many children and families coming to the center are often from outside of Winnipeg and need to stay in hotels. She hopes the donations can make their time in Winnipeg more comfortable.
We all know that coming to Toba Center and being a part of this experience isn't something we want for kids. We can't change that fact, but we can do is change things going forward. So what would you want when you're cooped up in a hotel room, right? Like coloring books, card games, all of those types of things. Anything that we think can make a family feel much more comfortable and at ease.
Dekowitz adds the donations let the families know that Manitobans are behind them and support them. Donations can be made year-round, and more information is available at tobacenter.ca. The Manitoba Children's Museum says it's at a critical turning point in its history. Due to a drop in admissions and some significant financial deficits, the museum is being forced to make some major changes. The museum is hiking admission rates, closing 2 days a week, and ending a pilot project which gave free admission to Indigenous attendees. Officials say they've been forced to make these moves because of lagging attendance since the pandemic and costly maintenance to the historic building that is required. The museum also hopes it will be able to get more support from donors, and they'd really like Manitobans to come back for a visit. Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai has been sentenced to 20 years in prison. Lai was found guilty in December of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces and conspiring with others to publish seditious articles. 6 former executives of the paper also received jail sentencing ranging from 6 years to 10 years. Lai's sentence has raised concerns from foreign governments and rights groups, but Chinese and Hong Kong authorities are defending it, saying it reflects the spirit of the rule of law. Lai is a British citizen, and the European Union continues to call for his immediate and unconditional release. A lot of our favorite fantasy shows have a basis in reality.
A lot of people tend to put dragons and mythical creatures in a completely separate group, but actually most of these stories actually range from a lot of common reptiles that we've seen.
The Vancouver Aquarium has a new exhibit called Dragons. It aims to draw a link between creatures of fairy tales and legends with the real-life creatures that inspired those stories. The exhibit is also available for visitors with vision loss. There is a full-scaled replica of each creature. Calgary's Work Lund Centre is showcasing 3 animation filmmakers in its micro cinema right now.
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor, and my mom sent me to acting school. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of wanted to transition and start making my own stories and not just tell other people's stories.
The films by the local artists use the animation, stop motion, and live action art forms. All of the artists involved say the museum is a great way to share their creativity with anyone passing by. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Toronto Street will be closed from Notre Dame to Wellington Avenue. Following the rush hours, the eastbound curb lane on William Avenue will be closed between Adelaide and Princess Street, and the westbound curb lane on Higgins Avenue will be closed from Macoras to Curtis Street. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please.
And it's -1 outside this morning with those winds. It feels a little bit cooler, a -7 wind chill value, although that seems a strange thing to talk about at this time because it is so incredibly mild. Those winds, though, they are noticeable and will be throughout the day today. At the moment, they're 26 kilometers per hour out of the west. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 83%. Mild temperatures across the province. Northern Manitoba might be a little bit cooler than where southern Manitoba is sitting, say, but for what you would expect this time of year, we're all going to be well above seasonal. Now, northern Manitoba could also deal with some heavier clouds and a little bit of light snow. A -16 is the expected high in Churchill, then just into the minus double digits, even some minus single digits. So, like I said, mild, especially relatively speaking to what is normal for this time of year, just into the minus double digits up Inland Lake, but most of the northwest will be in those mid to high minus single digits. Many places through southern Manitoba into the plus digits. Might not stay there. You could drop off a couple of degrees as the day goes on. Places like Brandon, Nipawa. Again, through central Manitoba, some slightly heavier clouds, maybe a little bit of precipitation to fall. More so, a little bit more sunshine expected, especially right around Winnipeg. There's just going to be this clear zone. Steinbach might enjoy some of that as well. Our temperatures will continue to fall. We were at +3 earlier this morning, but as the day goes on, we'll continue to drop off just another few degrees, still remaining well above seasonal. For a reference point, -9, that would be a normal daytime high. And that's likely where we're going to be dipping to or close to it overnight, and slightly cooler tomorrow, maybe a few extra clouds to linger. After that, a little more sunshine throughout the rest of this week, and even warmer temperatures to come as we're back up near the freezing mark, or maybe at times even into the plus digits later this week.
Thanks, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Good morning, you guys. Happy Monday.
Good morning and happy Monday to you. It's always so nice to see you.
You too.
Okay, we got a lot to get to here. This coming Sunday, I will be at Kidfish, which is going to be amazing. This past Friday.
Oh. I said
better.
something super important.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
My mic wasn't on. Now we got to hurry, though. Okay, so Kidfish, I'll be there this coming Sunday, but this past Friday, we did this special sort of tournament, ice fishing, out in Lockport.
It was
Big
so
shout
good.
out, Eric, Red River Cats. We did this thing where every fish we caught, $50 donation to Special Olympics Manitoba. Then all of that was matched by Bonafide Construction. Shout out Connor and Jeff.
Yes.
We went to the fishing hole. Shout out to my buddy Todd. It was amazing.
Had a great time there.
We got to fish with Marcel and Josh McFadds, which was amazing. And big thank you to Elise and Lindsay at Travel Manitoba. So what was it all for? Let's go back to that. $50 per fish.
That's right.
To Special Olympics Manitoba, which would be doubled thanks to Bonafide Construction.
Yeah.
So our producer, Amber, she caught a few nice...
First out of the gate, I think, right?
Nice little saugers, so that was good.
Yeah.
I managed to get a few little saugers on the ice. Chrissy got a nice walleye, a bit of a greenback out there.
Nice.
And then so everyone was contributing.
Yeah. In
Or
this
were they?
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ice castle from Red River Cats, okay?
So LTI was part of the team, and he will now update you on how many fish he caught.
0.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this is your headline. Local loser wears fishing sweater, doesn't know how to fish.
Oh, no.
Rochelle, it was honestly, so he had to go to his daughter's birthday party. Like that was Friday night.
Okay.
he left in the worst mood you've ever seen. He didn't even say,
I gotta go.
He just
That's what
pouted.
happened.
He pouted. It was awesome.
Well, thanks, you guys. And LTI, you'll get them next year. See you later. A new clinical trial to see how AI can help cancer patients in BC is underway, with seemingly promising results already. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports.
When 76-year-old Mike Miles was diagnosed with prostate cancer, he wasn't sure what to expect.
The healthcare system is overwhelmed, particularly with older folks like me.
Low to medium risk patients like Miles used to face a grueling regimen of 20 to 40 radiation treatments over 2 months. Newer technology has reduced that to only 5. Now, the BC Cancer Clinic in Victoria is taking things one step further in a new trial with the help of AI.
We have an industry partner that we have worked with to develop this AI-powered algorithm that helps us to aim the radiation beams more accurately than we could before.
The goal, reduce side effects and deliver effective treatment with only 2 doses.
We can get people in and out in just 2 treatments. I mean, that's just fantastic.
From a patient's perspective, it's an absolute piece of cake.
The accelerated process also allows more patients to access care more quickly.
Being able to do 2 treatments rather than 5 or 40 means that BC Cancer can process many, many more people in a timely manner.
If the 2-year trial is successful, there's hope the technology can be used to treat other types of cancer. According to one new study, artificial intelligence is already helping doctors around the world spot more cases of breast cancer. A trial involving more than 100,000 Swedish women receiving routine breast cancer scans showed a single radiologist, assisted by AI, detected 9% more cancer cases than 2 radiologists working together. The study's authors conclude widely rolling out AI-supported mammography breast cancer screening programs would be a win-win to both reduce workload for radiologists and detect more cancers at an early stage. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. It's Monday, February the 9th. Today, downtown store closes. Exchange District loses one of its only places to buy food, with owners pointing to safety concerns. Plus, Cuba travel turmoil. Canadians move between resorts as fuel shortages and blackouts disrupt vacations. And check into jail. A former Manitoba lockup now lets guests spend the night in real cells by choice. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba at 7 o'clock on your Monday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. This month is Psychology Month, and so we're going to talk about screen times and kids and the hazards of allowing your kids to spend too much time on screen. So we're going to hear from a clinical psychologist who's going to talk about not just the emotional toll that it takes or the mental health toll that it takes, but the development toll that it takes, especially on the little ones when they're on that screen way too early in their lives. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that at about 7:52. But the weather, you just want to get outside and enjoy it while you can.
It was beautiful over the weekend, wasn't it? Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that just joy over the break from the extremes. I know we've been talking last week about most of January being well below seasonal, and then things started to change up in February. All of a sudden looked to be above seasonal. It was beautiful over the weekend. It's going to continue on that trend. Maybe a little too warm for some of your wintertime fun. I know it was messy and slushy over the weekend, and expect that to continue. It's -1 right now in Winnipeg with a bit of a breeze out of the west. It's 26 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 83%. And yeah, even that snow is taking on that kind of like brownish kind of like you know, the way it looks when it starts to get melty and slushy. Well, it is going to stay well above seasonal, even though our temperature today might still drop off a few degrees. Across northern Manitoba, you can see the slightly more dense clouds, and with those clouds, the chance of some light snow. So there you can see on the Futurecast what I'm talking about. Here through the south, or at least mainly over Winnipeg, the idea that we're going to enjoy some sunshine because of this break in the clouds. But for central and northern Manitoba, you'll deal with the heavier clouds with the passing flurries, and then overnight those flurries could pass right on over us as well. Tomorrow, though, we'll get some of that sunshine back again. Tomorrow's temperatures will be a little bit cooler compared to the rest of the week. Compared to what is normal, we're still staying above seasonal, with -9 being a normal daytime high. All throughout this week, we're above that. While we might drop off through the day today and down to -8, tomorrow, like I said, slightly cooler, but only compared to what the rest of the week will bring, and a mild weekend ahead. Plenty of sunshine to enjoy, too. And a big thanks to Dorothy, 8 years old. We love that you shared your picture with us, this little snowman out in the snow. We'd like to see more of the art that you're working on, so send those pictures to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Winnipeg police are investigating a fatal house fire over the weekend near downtown. Around 10 a.m. on Saturday, firefighters were sent to a house in the 300 block of Agnes Street in the St. Matthews neighborhood. What you're seeing is about 20 minutes after it was brought under control, which was around 2:30 p.m. 3 people were sent to hospital in critical condition and 2 in stable condition. 2 more were assessed by paramedics, but they were not sent to hospital. On Sunday, police said 2 of the 3 people in critical condition, 2 women, ages 18 and 48, died from their injuries. The WPS Major Crimes Unit is now leading the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the unit at 204-986-6219 or Crime Stoppers. A corner grocery store in Winnipeg's downtown is closed. Ashdown Market opened 3 years ago and was one of the only places to buy groceries in the Exchange District. And its owners say crime played a part in emptying the shelves. CTV's Harrison Shin explains.
Household stuff was right here in the middle. Produce.
For 3 years, this empty space was filled with groceries, Slurpees, and more. But now, the Ashdown Market is closed for business, and co-owner Josh Giesbrecht says safety became a factor over time.
We started to see a steady decline in traffic, specifically people coming to the neighborhood within Winnipeg. We saw a huge drop, and that goes to all the crime and public safety concerns that downtown Winnipeg has unfortunately been experiencing.
He started the business as a cannabis shop, but later added a grocery section serving a neighborhood with few options.
I am sad to see them go because, Point Douglas Exchange District does continue to face some food insecurities.
Area Councillor Vivian Santos says while the city has been working to address the safety concern, more should be done.
Needless to say, it's still not an excuse for, our Exchange District residents. The fear there is real.
For a worker at a neighboring coffee shop, it's going to be tough without the market.
We often rely on Ashdown Market for emergency groceries, if we need to pick up milk or tomatoes in a pinch. So them leaving is going to be a bit of a bummer for us.
Giesbrecht says the market also hosted Lucy's Comedy Club, named after another co-owner Marley Mecca's dog, and the club will try to find a new home in Winnipeg. He says while the safety issues became serious, he is also ready to move on.
We wanted to set off the alarm that the downtown issues are serious. We wanted people to know we're thankful. We're not angry or bitter or anything like that. We're very thankful we got the chance.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba's health agency is asking anyone who attended Manitoba Ag Days in Brandon to monitor for symptoms of measles this week. Manitoba Health says that's because they may have been exposed to the disease while attending the event in January from the 19th to the 21st. The agency says those who visited nearby tourist areas such as hotels, restaurants, and shops during the week of the event may have also been exposed. The event's website describes Ag Days as Canada's largest indoor farm show. Toronto police have now suspended 2 more officers linked to a major crime and corruption case. The investigation, dubbed Project South, looked at allegations of police corruption and links to organized crime. No charges have been laid against the latest 2 officers, but 7 Toronto police officers and 1 retired member are already facing 46 charges. 3 officers from Peel Region, just outside of Toronto, are also facing charges. Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew has asked the province's Inspector General of Policing to conduct an independent review. An update on that request is expected this morning. You've probably heard the phrase, defense wins championships, and that was certainly the case in Super Bowl 60.
And they bring up pressure as well, and they get a knockdown as Witherspoon came under pressure, and Uchenna is going the distance for a touchdown.
The Seahawks' top-ranked defense led Seattle to a 29-13 win against the New England Patriots. The win also marks an incredible comeback for Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold. He was a high draft pick in 2018, but struggled to find his groove through his NFL career and was labeled a bust. He's now the first quarterback in his draft class to win the Super Bowl. This was Seattle's second Super Bowl win and serves as a little bit of a revenge after losing to the Patriots 11 years ago. It also stopped New England from winning a record 7th Super Bowl. A visit to a Western Manitoba community could land you in jail without the criminal record. The former Westman RCMP detachment in McCreary has been converted into an Airbnb property. Owner Rosie Pelican tells CTV News the jailhouse features 2 bedrooms in the old cells with enough beds for 6 inmates. It also has a full kitchen, bathroom, indoor parking space, and outdoor patio area. The listing says you can check off a night in the slammer from your bucket list while enjoying all the features. Horses are set to grab the spotlight for this year's Lunar New Year celebrations. Operators of Taiwan's main zoo are expecting big crowds visiting their endangered wild horses, since February 17th will bring about the Year of the Horse. At one point, hardly any of these horses remained in the wild, but they're slowly being reintroduced, with 850 now across China and Mongolia. Here's what's happening on Portage Avenue. Looks like a smooth drive so far this morning. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Novo Nordisk says it is suing online telehealth provider Hims & Hers for mass marketing cheaper, unapproved copies of the drug maker's new Wegovy obesity pill and injections in the U.S. Novo is asking the court to permanently ban Hims from selling compounded versions of its drugs that infringe on the company's patents, and is seeking to recover damages. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi secured a historic election triumph, positioning her as the nation's strongest leader in the post-war era, in an outcome that sent stock prices and bond yields soaring. An extraordinary transformation of fortunes for a party that was on the ropes last summer before getting behind the nation's first ever female premier in October. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Telling us all about Hood and Dagger and this production, and you look like you're ready to do a scene. Good morning.
Well, Rochelle, I am a woman of many hats.
There's how many then?
Nice. I'm not sure, but my favorite one is at the bottom. It looks like you know what, I'll show you maybe later. Anyways, we're talking about Hood and Dagger Productions, the 39 steps. I almost said the 39 hats. Sorry, hats are on my mind. And this is a 100% volunteer-run community production happening at the Gas Station Theatre. Now, referencing these hats as well, because there's over 150 character changes. It's a set in the UK. It's a mystery. It's a comedy. Apparently, fish are referenced quite a bit as well. There's a charity component too, which you're going to find out later in the show. Hat me.
You look good in hats.
And it's happening on the 24th. I didn't catch it.
You'll get it next time. Thanks, Ainsley.
It is what it is.
Let's go out to the rooftop. You don't need a hat today, Terry.
I don't even need my gloves today. You're right. I mean, I actually started to put my gloves on at one point, and it kind of felt, you know that feeling you get when you put socks on to bed, and it's like, this is too much. It's just too much. That's what it felt like when I was trying to put my gloves on. It was like, my hand was yelling at me, let me breathe. So I'm letting it breathe. It's beautiful out here this morning. -2 is where we're sitting. That is down a degree again from last hour. We're going to watch these temperatures drop off, but even -2 to be standing out here. What a pleasant way to kick off your Monday. A 22K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising. The humidity is sitting at 85%. Looking a little bit brighter now. Still a ways till the sun rises. That'll be happening at 7:50. but I can see the glow out here and the clouds that are continuously clearing, so we will be enjoying plenty of that sunshine. Here in Winnipeg, at least, there will be many areas around us with some slightly heavier clouds, and then areas to the north of us through central and northern Manitoba, where more than clouds, you might even deal with some light and scattered snow. And in fact, we could have that snow passing over us here in Winnipeg overnight, but then breaking up with those clouds again tomorrow. Pockets of sunshine. Tomorrow will probably be one of the cooler days of the week, but even that will be above seasonal. A mild week ahead. In fact, later on this week, those temperatures will be rising up around the freezing mark and maybe even hitting plus digits once again.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Well, it's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Pizza Day. So our question is, are there any ingredients that you would never put on a pizza? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back. Good morning. Protesters gathered at CF Polo Park on Sunday to show their solidarity with Iranians.
We have people that their family member is arrested and they're so worried about them because now they show that without going through a legal process, they just execute people and just because they just be in the street.
About 60 people gathered at the parking lot of CF Polo Park Sunday afternoon, voicing opposition to the Iranian regime's crackdown on protesters. The lion and sun flags were seen, along with signs showing casualties from the crackdown. Volunteer Zali Parsai says they are bringing awareness, calling for a democratic and secular country led by the exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Pahlavi, currently living in the U.S., has been vocal on the protest on his social media in support of the protesters. The nationwide protests in Iran started in late December, expressing anger over cost of living and water and electricity shortages. 2 people were sent to hospital after a car crash on Sunday. In an email to CTV News, Winnipeg police say officers were sent to the 700 block of St. Mary's Road just before 10:30 a.m. on Sunday after a report of a single motor vehicle collision. One blue pickup truck was seen near the intersection of St. Mary's Road and Fermor Avenue with visible damages. 2 occupants were sent to hospital, one in stable condition, but the other in unstable condition. The Central Traffic Division is investigating. A local soccer club hosted a polar bear lunch outside on Saturday for a good cause. The Luso-Canadian Soccer Club hosted the event in support of cancer research. Some people were wearing shorts. Organizers say it started back when a Portuguese restaurant called Picasso's at Sargent Avenue and Maryland Street hosted the event for cancer research. And now they're trying to keep the tradition alive.
My dad just passed away from cancer last year. Jose's lost a sister in the past to cancer, and other people that we know have lost family members to cancer. So it just seemed like a great idea to make an awareness for the event, and what better awareness than to being outside when it's cold, having lunch in your shorts.
Club member Mario Lopez adds there are many reasons and people to continue the fight against cancer. While this year's event was held on a fairly mild day, the club's vice president, Jose Vieira, says they hope to do it next year, too, in colder conditions. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along the Norwood Bridge. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, but no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you do see anything out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
At Sunday's Super Bowl halftime, star Bad Bunny gave a shout out to all the countries of the Americas, including Canada.
Mexico, Cuba, República Dominicana, Jamaica, Haití, Antillas, United States, Canadá, and my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico.
Bad Bunny took center stage at the Super Bowl halftime show, wowing the crowd and bringing out star Lady Gaga, who put a Latin spin on her hit, Die With a Smile. Other guests included fellow Puerto Rican Ricky Martin, and if you looked closely, you spotted dancing on the veranda singers Karol G and Cardi B, and yes, that's actor Jessica Alba and Pedro Pascal. And this was a first. A couple got married. They invited Benito to their wedding. Instead, he invited them to the show. Bad Bunny is the first Latino solo artist to headline a Super Bowl halftime show, and he did it all singing in Spanish. Did you catch it during the Super Bowl? Guy Fieri went from a cool guy to just a guy.
I'm just a guy. But when I use my Bosch appliances, I feel like more than just a guy. I feel like Guy.
Just a Guy Fieri made his debut in this Bosch commercial. For about 2 decades, the celebrity chef has been rocking frosted spiky hair and an epic goatee, which is why this ad is so well done, taking one of the most recognizable guys and turning him into just a regular one. And you best believe Taylor Swift is still bejeweled with this latest music video.
My mama told me it's alright. You were dancing through the lightning strikes.
Swift dropped the music video for her song Opalite of her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, and you may notice some very familiar faces in it too, like Greta Lee, Domhnall Gleeson, and Jodie Turner-Smith. The idea for the video was sparked by her time on the Graham Norton show late last year. Kick off your Monday primetime lineup with a survival competition. Extracted starts at 7. Memory of a Killer is on at 8, and The Rookie airs at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. You got a chance to see the halftime show, Terry?
It was pretty spectacular,
Yes.
I have to say, because we talked last week. I had no idea who Bad Bunny was. You can bet he's on my playlist now.
Oh, he's so good.
And it turns out I did know a couple of the songs. I just didn't realize who was singing them, right? You hear them on the radio. But anyway,
Yes.
Big fan now.
So good.
Lady Gaga, that song that she did is like my all-time favorite
It's so
song
beautiful.
on repeat right now. Yeah.
I loved seeing Ricky Martin. It's been so long.
Right?
So good. Yeah, it was fun.
And just the vibe of it all. It was fun. It was a party. Exactly what you're looking for. All right, taking the party outside. We're looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, people were probably celebrating the warm weather over the weekend. How gorgeous was that? And here's the thing, it continues. We've got this stretch of above seasonal temperatures to carry us through the rest of this week, although there will be a little bit of a change up, and it kind of begins today in the sense that the temperatures will be dropping off over the course of the day. We're at, according to this map, -1 is technically -1.5. Other times through the morning, I might call it -2. We do tend to round up when it's at that half mark. Anyway, it's still very mild no matter how you look at it. Mild enough that we're in the plus digits. Portage, Morden Winkler, Brandon, all above the freezing mark this morning. Through central Manitoba, just slightly cooler, those high minus single digits. And further that you go into the north, now you're running into those mid-minus teens. That's also where there will be a few extra clouds and maybe even some scattered snow. So central and northern Manitoba, things will be a little more active with the precipitation. We could be seeing that rolling through overnight, but over the course of today, many of us here in and around the Winnipeg area will be enjoying the sunshine. Now, the temperatures might continue to fall off over the course of the day, down to about -3, but just for a reference point, -9, that would be a normal daytime high. We're going to remain above that, even as we dip overnight. And tomorrow, the coolest day of the week, still above seasonal, but from there, it warms up even more, plenty of sunshine to enjoy. The snowmobilers were out. A whole bunch of them by the looks of it in the Inglis area. Thanks to Terry for the photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
February 9th, 1870, Louis Riel established a Métis provisional government at Red River, Manitoba. It was formed to negotiate the entry of the Red River settlement, now Manitoba, into the Canadian Confederation. February 9th, 1964, an estimated 73 million viewers watched the Beatles' first live U.S. television performance on The Ed Sullivan Show. This record-breaking audience represented over 60% of all U.S. television viewers at the time. The appearance was pivotal in igniting Beatlemania worldwide. February 9th, 2002, Princess Margaret, the younger sister of Queen Elizabeth II, died in a London hospital after suffering a third stroke. She made several visits to Canada, including an official visit to Winnipeg in 1974 in honor of the city's centennial year. Canadians looking to escape the cold often fly to Cuba, but this past week, Ottawa put out a warning about an energy crisis on the island. As CTV's Kamil Karamali reports, it's now led to some Canadian travelers being forced out of their resorts.
Everybody is also packed up and ready to leave.
This is not the vacation these Canadians signed up for, being booted from their hotel in Cuba and taken to another resort.
Somebody just said to us, oh, you know that at 4 o'clock we're leaving here. And we're like, what?
No, we don't know anything about it. What the heck?
They were told it's because of a fuel shortage, not enough of it to transport hotel staff from their homes to the resort.
A lot of tears, people are crying. I mean, they're the ones who lost their jobs.
The country has been gripped by severe shortages of food, water, and medicine, while an energy crisis causes widespread blackouts and leaves taxis sitting idle in empty Havana roads. The fuel situation is chaotic, says this taxi worker. Chaotic after Cuba's primary oil supplier, Venezuela, had its shipments blocked and saw its leader captured by the U.S. At least 10 hotels closed across Cuba's northern coast, according to Air Transat. The Canadian airline adding local authorities have decided to temporarily shut down the facilities because of low occupancy rates. Cuban officials say the country will reduce energy consumption, including in the tourism sector. There are more than 6,600 Canadians registered as being in Cuba, although Global Affairs says that number could be higher, and warning any Canadians planning on traveling there to be prepared to change their travel plans.
If, in fact, they purchased a trip to Cuba, they really have to look at the possibility of backing it up with insurance.
WestJet and Sunwing saying they're monitoring the situation closely for this couple now dealing with a crammed hotel. This advice for other Canadians.
If you're a new traveler and you expect certain things like you would get in Punta Cana or Mexico, maybe now is not the time for you.
For now trying to see sunny skies
Cheers.
through a darkening situation. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, we're going to learn all about this production called The 39 Steps, put on by Hood and Dagger. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. You're telling us all about this brand new production. It's called The 39 Steps. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, good morning. I'm having a blast. From wearing all the hats to taking a look at this set, we've transformed Prairie Spirit United Church into a full-blown set. And this production will be at the Gas Station Theatre, where you can see it all yourself. Brandon Vink joins us now, Connor Ibach, both in the production, and we get a little sneak peek this morning. Tell us about your character first, though, Brandon.
Yeah, I play Richard Hannay. He lives a very ordinary life, solitary, and he wants to shake it up a little bit. So he goes to a West End show, meets this woman who sweeps him into a spy thriller. So it's certainly against his will. You get a lot of comedy in there, good crime elements. It's a ton of fun.
Typical How We Met story. You look phenomenal. Okay, tell us a little bit about this.
Well, this is one of the many characters I play throughout the show. A police officer, as you can probably guess by the police hat, here to look for the man, Richard Hannay, a suspect in a certain murder case that's ongoing.
Okay, and with you guys wearing all that, this is obviously main squeeze for you, but when it comes to the changing it up of the characters, what challenges does that present?
Well, it's a real challenge sometimes, depending on how much time you have to get capes off, hats off, new jackets on, wigs on, mustaches on maybe, whatever you need for a certain scene, and sometimes you're running around the stage as you do it. It's a very frantic show, and the costume changes make it both fun and frantic.
Okay, not only that, but the set design too. Take it away, you guys. I can't wait to see it.
Excuse me, sorry to disturb you. Have you seen this man? His name is Richard Hannay.
Excuse me, please. Sorry to disturb you. Have you seen this man? His name is Richard Hannay.
Darling, how lovely to see you.
Someone's having a free lunch in there.
And a free pudding too, I wouldn't wonder.
some mystery and some romance.
I like it.
Not bad. All right, the weather today, it's going to be messy again today.
Yes, honestly, I got the light on my dash about topping up with the windshield wiper fluid because I had run out over the weekend. It was messy. It's going to continue on that trend all throughout this week. So probably if you do need to get another jug, get a couple of jugs because it looks like we're going to see this weather lasting for a few days yet. It's -2 right now with winds out of the west-northwest, 22 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 85%. It's looking gorgeous. A little bit brighter out there. 8:50. Nope. 7:50. 10 minutes to 8 o'clock is when that sun will rise for us today. And you can see how few clouds out there. We will be enjoying it here around the Winnipeg area. Whereas central northern Manitoba, extra clouds and maybe even a little bit of light and scattered snow. As mild as it is, it's going to cool throughout the day today. Not by much, but we'll probably drop another degree or so down to about -3 this afternoon. And we're still going to deal with those winds in place. They could be gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour both through the day and then overnight. And I mentioned central and northern Manitoba could see a little bit of light snow today. In the overnight hours, that could pass through around the Winnipeg area too. So there's the possibility of a few scattered flakes of snow as we drop down to -8. Just to give you a reference point, -9 is a normal daytime high. So even our overnight low will keep us above that. Tomorrow slightly cooler than the rest of the week, but still above seasonal. We'll see a little bit of sunshine back. There's still going to be a little bit of a breeze, but from there it continues to warm up through the rest of the week. At times up around the freezing mark, maybe even some plus digits, staying very mild and likely messy throughout the week.
Thank you, Terry. There are renewed calls from international health officials now urging Canada to strengthen its response to measles.
Cases have slowed down, but they're not gone. And we know that tragically measles will continue to circulate until we get to a herd immunity threshold.
An American Health Organization has issued an alert calling on countries in North and South America, including Canada, to intensify vaccination efforts and disease surveillance. About 5,500 measles cases have been recorded nationwide since the outbreak started last fall. And Health Canada data shows in 2026, a total of 94 cases have already been reported in 6 provinces, with the highest numbers in Alberta and Manitoba. Our province tops the list with 44 reported cases so far this year.
Had few episodes of flu. She's had about 3 or 4 ear infections. 10 or 11 years from now, she can, her brain can swell and she can die.
Morgan Birch, whose daughter contracted measles as an infant, is describing the long-term effects of the disease. Birch says it has weakened her daughter's immune system, leading to more illnesses. A report from the Georgia Institute of Technology quotes a study published in 2019, which found that having a measles infection can destroy between 11% and 75% of antibodies, leaving patients vulnerable to infections they previously had immunity to. The goal now is to achieve herd immunity to measles, which experts say can only happen if 95% of the population is fully vaccinated. Winnipeg police have seized nearly $200,000 in drugs, along with guns and cash, following an investigation last month. The Guns and Gangs Unit executed 2 search warrants on January 28th, one at a business in the 300 block of NASA Street North and the other at a home on William Tweed Terrace. They found cocaine, fentanyl, raw marijuana, and other illicit drugs during the searches. Police also seized 24,000 contraband cigarettes, more than $8,300 in cash, 2 guns, and 5 watches worth about $70,000 combined. 3 men aged 23, 38, and 39 are facing a slew of drug and weapons-related charges. A 27-year-old woman is also facing drug charges. A limited number of Palestinians traveled between Gaza and Egypt Sunday as the Rafah crossing reopened following a 2-day closure. The vital border point opened last week for the first time since mid-2024 as one of the main requirements for the U.S.-backed ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The crossing was closed Friday and Saturday over confusion around operations. While athletes are competing in the Milano Cortina Olympics, it's been a deadly weekend for hikers in northern Italy. Italian Alpine Rescue says 4 hikers died in avalanches in the Lombardy and Trentino regions Saturday, while a 5th died in the Val d'Aosta region after becoming trapped in a glacier. Heavy snowfall in the Alps in recent days has caused several avalanches, and officials warned conditions on the slopes meant large slabs of snow could be dislodged by just one person passing by. Japanese stocks surged to a record high today after an historic election victory. The governing party of Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi secured a 2/3 supermajority in the key parliamentary election. She says she is ready to pursue policies to make Japan strong and prosperous, including boosting Japan's economy and military capabilities as tensions grow with China. The Nikkei index rallied by more than 5% in early trade on Monday, briefly crossing the 57,000 mark for the first time. It then gave up some gains, but still closed at a record high of more than 56,000. Newcomers in Winnipeg got a warm welcome this weekend by embracing the cold. The True North Youth Foundation's Camp Manitou hosted its 8th annual Welcome to Winnipeg event on Sunday. The 2-day event introduced newcomer families to classic Canadian winter activities like snowshoeing, hockey, tobogganing, and cross-country skiing. About 100 newcomers participated each day, many of them trying these activities for the first time. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Toronto Street will be closed from Notre Dame to Wellington Avenue following the rush hours. The eastbound curb lane on William Avenue will be closed between Adelaide and Princess Street. And the westbound curb lane on Higgins Avenue will be closed from Acores to Curtis Street. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is $1.22. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.23, and the lowest price in the city is $1.12. All this info is on GasBuddy.com. Looking outside right now, it is -2. The wind chill feels like -7. It's a gorgeous start to the week. We'll be back after this short break.
Beautiful start to your morning. Look at that sky, absolutely stunning. We are less than 10 minutes away from sun officially beginning to rise, and we will be enjoying plenty of that throughout the day today. It's -2 at the moment with a 22 wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 85%. So yes, it is a little bit breezy today, but mild and well above seasonal temperatures. A little bit of a breeze only helping to melt some of that snow, which will already be taking its depletion as the sun continues to shine. What a weird way to describe melting snow. I don't even know why I came up with that. Sometimes my brain, I tell you. Anyway, across central and northern Manitoba, some heavier clouds. There will likely be a little bit of light and scattered snow, -16 in the Churchill area, but the rest of the north just barely into those minus double digits today. You can see these above seasonal temperatures will be felt across the entire province. Many places throughout northern Manitoba, mid to high minus single digits. Here throughout the south, there's still could be a couple of places in those plus digits. We were in the plus digits earlier this morning. We are starting to drop off and will continue to do so, ending up at about -3 later on today. Best chance of sunshine will actually be right over Winnipeg, maybe the Steinbach area as well. Heavier clouds throughout much of the province today, and that includes areas just to the east of us. Now, with those clouds that'll bring the snow through central and northern Manitoba through the day, we could see that passing through overnight, and a few extra clouds hanging around tomorrow. Slightly cooler temperatures tomorrow, but -9 is a normal daytime high, and after that, with the sunshine coming back in full force later on this week, we will see the mercury on the rise, hitting the freezing mark, maybe even some plus digits, and looking right through the week, remaining mild into the coming weekend as well.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go down to Ainslie Phil. We've been hearing about the production from Hood and Dagger called the 39 Steps, and a portion of the money is going to a good cause. Good morning.
Good morning. What an amazing incentive, isn't it? Hood and Dagger Productions giving back to Agape Table. Now, I've had a blast all morning. You're going to see some of the out of context moments that we've had so far. This is fun, but you guys are giving back in a really real way. What does that look like?
Oh, well, there's a whole bunch of different ways. It's getting a bunch of Winnipeggers involved, some people with no prior experience at all in our shows. Also, we'd like to involve our community partners. Whodunit Mystery Books has a booth in our lobby, as well as High Tea Bakery, who's also selling their baked goods there. And then, of course, most importantly, we have a charitable partner with every show. Agape Table is our charitable partner for the 39 Steps, so they get a portion of ticket sales as well as a cash 50-50 in our lobby as well, because we want this to be a community event. We want this to involve a lot of different people and to really give back.
Hey, Manitobans love their 50-50s. Dave, why do we want to see it grow?
This is truly Winnipeg. It's a large city with a small town mentality where everybody looks after everybody, and Hood and Dagger has reached out to Agape Table, and honestly, it's exactly what we need right now. We're in the middle of a capital campaign. We're about to open up our new building later on this spring, and it's just truly everybody coming together to make things happen.
How can people give back?
Food, time, and money, honestly. Without food, we can't do what we do. Without your time, there's only 8 of us right now, so serving 188,000 meals last year, it's quite the daunting task. And honestly, money makes the world go around right now, so without your donations, we can't keep our doors open.
Okay, and have fun while you're doing it. Let's have fun this morning.
Wait a minute, this is the wrong road. This is the road south. Inver is north, surely. There's a bridge falling in the road, miss. We shall have to go around. The man knows the way, miss.
Excuse me, Inspector.
What?
Might I see your warrant?
Just shut your mouth.
Right. Would you like to have a small bet with me, Pamela, my dear? Right then, I'll have it with you, Sherlock. I'll lay you 100 to 1 that your procurator fiscal has the top joint of his little finger missing. Hmm? Oh. I win.
What are we stopping for? Damn sheep, get out of the way!
Well, a whole flock of detectives.
Well, that's not score it. What's it through the road?
Strangely, I've no shepherd.
Come on, man.
Well, not so easy in this thick fog. Look how it suddenly come down out of nowhere.
And that was a scene from the 39 Steps. A new book is hitting shelves just in time for Black History Month, teaching kids about the contribution Caribbean immigrants have made to this country in the First and Second World Wars. CTV's Carol Charles has the inspiring story.
Yolanda Marshall is celebrating the launch of her latest children's book, Marching North. Written for children ages 5 to 10, it's the first Canadian picture book that highlights Caribbean immigrants who served for Canada in the First and Second World War. She says it's a great introduction for young children.
And this is a wonderful book to get them into talking about these wonderful soldiers. And, you know, I hope it inspires them to want to become amazing, and even writers too, right?
Featured in this colorful 40-page picture book are 8 soldiers who served and fought for Canada at a time when their rights were limited.
We have Isaac Phelps, George Livingstone, William Gale, Thomas Gale, Ethelbert Lionel Cross. We have Hebron Greenidge, Dr. Joseph Liverpool, and also Owen Rowe.
On hand for the launch, historian Kathy Grant, the daughter of Owen Rowe. She's happy to see the legacy of her father and those of the other soldiers being shared with the greater community.
I know that my dad is looking down and he is smiling, he is laughing, he is dancing.
Despite facing hardships on and off the battlefield, many of these men return home to become doctors, teachers, lawyers, and community leaders.
We came from brave people, very strong, resilient people who came here and they contributed immensely.
The book will be available through Amazon, Indigo, and here at a different book list. Carol Charles, CTV News.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 9th birthday, Johan, from your family. Happy 10th birthday to granddaughter Azria. Love Grandma Elizabeth, Nicholas, and your sister Ariel and brother Aura. Happy birthday, Shane. Love from Mom and family who all wish you a great day. Happy 65th birthday, Kathy, with love from the family.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff.
Happy birthday to Haven. Love Mom, Carl, Finley, Gemma, Kiera, and the cats. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, to fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It is pleasant out here now, 3 degrees plus 3. That was our highest temperature, but that actually happened just after midnight, and we have been dropping off over the course of the morning. But still, a normal high would be -9 last year. We didn't even get that warm. -13.8 was the temperature reached last year, but back in 1976, we soared to 5.6 degrees. So that's the record that we'd be shooting for. We were at 3, so we were actually a lot closer to that record earlier this morning, but now we're getting a little bit further from it as these temperatures have been dropping. Sitting at -2 right now with a 22 wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 85%. The sun is now up. However, we've also had some heavier clouds move in just over the last little while now, and I can see a little bit of a brighter sky off to the east along the horizon there, but straight up above these heavier clouds will likely still break up at points through the day, allowing a little bit of sunshine through. But Winnipeg might be one of the luckier places when it comes to sunshine, because much of central and northern Manitoba, much of the province really will deal with the heavier clouds, but central and northern Manitoba will also deal with some scattered flurries, which we may see passing through overnight before it tapers off tomorrow. Tomorrow, slightly cooler temperatures, but still above seasonal. A normal high I mentioned was -9. We'll drop to about -3 today. Tomorrow, slightly cooler, -6, and then warming up big time throughout the rest of the week.
The research shows that too much screen time for kids can hurt their development and mental health. Psychologists and experts recommend parents create screen time mandates and limits for their children from birth to the age of 17. And joining us now is clinical psychologist Dr. Joanne Unger. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, of course, kids practice what they see. We're all kind of on our phones right now. We all sort of use our phones for everything from work to music. And so kids learn what they see. Is that right?
Absolutely. And devices are designed to hook us, right? So their programs are set up so that we want to keep coming back and we want to keep checking. And they do that on purpose, right? It's embedded in the design. So adults, children, teenagers, it keeps calling our names.
And so what is the best advice when it comes to children? Because some kids should never be on screens, right? What's the age group for that?
Yeah, for sure. So some recommendations have come out by different health organizations saying that under 2, we really shouldn't be on devices. I know there's some folks who like to, if grandparents are far away, do a video call, and that's fine. But generally speaking, it shouldn't be something they should be doing for their entertainment or learning at this point.
Why is that?
It's a really critical period in brain development. Where language is really important, and learning that through interactions and social interactions, the back and forth between people is really important. And so we really want them to be having a wide range of activities that help that brain, social, and emotional development.
And so too much screen time sort of eliminates some developmental...
Those opportunities,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the age where they can slowly be exposed to it, and then what do you do in terms of limits?
Yeah, for sure. So 2 to 5, they're recommending under an hour, and that parents co-view with their children so that it can be the most benefit to them in terms of their learning and development, and that they're seeing what their kids are seeing, and they can talk about what they're seeing with their kids.
And this is an hour a day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, under an hour a day. Yeah.
Okay, so then you get older, you're heading into sort of the... What is it? So kids from 5 and up.
Yeah, so there we want to say it kind of shifts a little bit because, as you mentioned, we use our screens for many different things, and the screens aren't all created equal. Like, those activities aren't the same. So when we're looking at elementary school, they might start using it for school and for educational purposes. So they start to shift to, say, under 2 hours of recreational screen time a day is what's recommended for kind of the elementary and all the way up to high school.
Okay, and so then when should high school kids get exposure to some of the social media apps, for example, Instagram, there's, Snapchat, TikTok, those kinds of things.
So there, some of them are different. There are some folks who are recommending over 16 for social media. I think there's some governments that are even banning it, right, under 16.
Yep.
And I would say there's an important period of time where we need to be coaching and teaching our kids. So I would say right now under 14, we probably don't want our kids on social media. And then 14, 15, we want to be on it with them so that we're teaching them how to engage safely and kindly, and what's appropriate, and who's appropriate to talk to, and then they can have more independence as they develop those skills.
Why is that? What happens to a teen? What is the research showing when they're on these apps?
Well, it really varies in terms of how much and the maturity of the teen themselves. So what we know is that during our teenage years, we're really developing some of those independent social skills, and we're practicing moving into developing our own partner relationship in the future. So how others view us is really, really important during that time, and we can have a lot of anxiety around how others may perceive us or how we might be engaging with others. And there's a lot of when you don't have another person to look at to get that social feedback, sometimes people say and do things online that they wouldn't do to a person, and
get mean.
It's a little bit vulnerable, right, during those social development periods.
Great advice. It's Psychology Month, and you have a lot of great programs that are available online. We're almost at a time. Where did they find it? MPS.ca, Manitoba Psychological Society. We have a poster. You can register. A lot of them are virtual, really accessible across a wide range of topics. Topics like money, kids, health, cardiac health, and aging. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Adam Scully here in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday in Fort. We're heading to San Francisco for Super Bowl 60. Seahawks trying to finish the Patriots up in the fourth quarter. Drake May hit, picked off by Uchenna Nwosu, who goes 44 yards all the way to the house for the pick six. The NFL stingiest defense causing headaches all night for the Pats, sacking May 6 times and creating 3 turnovers as Seattle wins their second Super Bowl in franchise history. Tonight on TSN, we've got an NBA doubleheader. The Bucks taking on the Magic before the Thunder face the Lakers. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Monday, February the 9th. Fatal fire, a weekend blaze in the St. Matthews neighborhood is under investigation by the Major Crimes Unit. How many victims wound up in hospital? Project South. More Toronto and area police officers are under scrutiny as part of a sweeping investigation into corruption and alleged associations with organized crime. And getting sick of paperwork. Why more doctors say trimming administrative tasks and obligations would benefit patients across the board. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday to you. It is 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 8:15, we're going to have Mayor Scott Gillingham join us to talk about some of the issues affecting our city right now. He just came back from a trip in Ottawa. We're going to find out how that went. And then at 8:27 and 8:45, we're talking Valentine's Day from improv show happening in the city. And then at 8:45, we're going to have some chocolates that your sweetie would certainly love.
Yes, please.
The weather has been really sweet, though.
It has. Honestly, this weekend, so spectacular. I know a lot of people were out enjoying it. So take a look outside and you can see these heavy clouds hanging above, a slice of light right along the horizon. But we'll see if the sun climbs a little bit higher yet, as it will, because that's how the sun works. It could end up behind those clouds. But still, it is incredibly mild. It's -2 right now with a 22 km wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 85%. But I do expect that we're going to be seeing a little bit of that sunshine today, especially as we look according to, well, the models that I'm going to be showing you here. Now, through central and northern Manitoba, clouds will be a little bit heavier, and that's where there will likely be a little bit of scattered precipitation. But this break in the clouds, I know Winnipeg is in the clouds at this time, but as that break kind of settles in over us, I suspect that we will enjoy a little more sunshine as the day goes on. But then the flurries that'll be moving through central and northern Manitoba through the day could be passing through overnight, just briefly, little bit of scattered snow, not amounting to too much certainly. But even throughout this week, we're looking at above seasonal temperatures. I know it was incredibly mild over the weekend and the temperatures might drop off through the day today, and tomorrow might be slightly cooler, but still -9 is normal for this time of year. So even slightly cooler keeps us above the seasonal -9, and from there the rest of the week, mercury on the rise, and we could even push above the freezing mark later on into the week. 8-year-old Dorothy is responsible for our art today. Dorothy, what a talent, and thank you for sharing this with us. Keep your pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Winnipeg police are investigating a fatal house fire over the weekend near downtown. Around 10 a.m. on Saturday, firefighters were sent to a house in the 300 block of Agnes Street in the St. Matthews neighborhood. The fire was brought under control, which was around 2:30 p.m. 3 people were sent to hospital in critical condition and 2 in stable condition. 2 more were assessed by paramedics, but they were not sent to the hospital. On Sunday, police said 2 of the 3 people in critical condition, 2 women ages 18 and 48, died from their injuries. The WPS Major Crimes Unit is now leading the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the unit at 204-986-6219 or Crime Stoppers. Manitoba's health agency is asking anyone who attended Manitoba Ag Days in Brandon to monitor for symptoms of measles this week. Manitoba Health says that's because they may have been exposed to the disease while attending the event in January from the 19th to the 21st. The agency says those who visited nearby tourist areas such as hotels, restaurants, and shops during the week of the event may have also been exposed. The event's website describes Ag Days as Canada's largest indoor farm show. Toronto police have now suspended 2 more officers linked to a major crime and corruption case. The investigation, dubbed Project South, looked at allegations of police corruption and links to organized crime. No charges have been laid against the latest 2 officers, but 7 Toronto police officers and 1 retired member are already facing 46 charges. 3 officers from Peel Region, just outside of Toronto, are also facing charges. Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkew has asked the province's Inspector General of Policing to conduct an independent review. An update on that request is expected this morning. U.S. Representative Ro Khanna says Ghislaine Maxwell will not answer questions at a congressional deposition today. Maxwell was found guilty in 2021 for her role in helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse teenage girls. She's currently serving a 20-year prison sentence. Khanna says instead of answering individual questions, Maxwell plans to read a prepared statement at the beginning of today's deposition. Khanna hasn't shared the source of this information. The deposition comes as the U.S. Department of Justice has released millions of internal documents related to Epstein.
This is a Labour psychodrama right now. We're all living in Labour's psychodrama.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is under pressure from both the opposition and the public in the wake of the Mandelson scandal. Both his communications chief and closest aide have stepped down in the past 2 days over Starmer's appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States. Despite all this, Starmer has said as recently as this morning he's not resigning. Breaking news from Italy, it's a podium finish this morning for Team Canada. Megan Oldman has won bronze in women's free ski slope style. She locked in her podium finish with her best run of the day in the 3rd and final run. Canada now has 2 bronze medals. Here's a look at what's happening right now in traffic along the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are picking up, but moving overall quite well in this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Ainsley McPhail is live with Hood and Dagger this morning, telling us about their latest production. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Now, this one is funny. Usually they've got a mystery component, but this one has it all. Madeline Delatte joins us, Robin Grant to my right, 39 Steps. What can you tell us about the overall production?
It's such an amazing production to work on, especially everyone working on it is so talented, so funny, and there's so much love going into every single aspect of the production. Not only the acting, but the directing, the sound design, the lighting design, the set design. The marketing team is incredible. Every single aspect has so much love and care and attention put into it, and as an actor, it's so rewarding to work with a team that's doing that. It's just been absolutely a blast.
Oh, you couldn't have put it better myself. And Robin, I did not recognize you. I'm not even going to lie. You left the room looking one way, came back in the room looking completely different. Why is that piece such an important component when it comes to this production?
Well, this script is, first of all, a great script, but it allows the 6 actors to be so many different characters, and part of that is achieved through, you know, costume and makeup, but we actually had Corey Wojak come and do a workshop with us to learn different characters and things like that, and how to portray ourselves differently, and that's part of the fun, and that's part of the comedy of the whole show.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny. Tell me about who's the perfect audience member. Actually, we're out of time again. I'm sorry. Let's see it though. Take it away.
What job do? I nearly died of fright.
Could you use a pound note, brother?
A pound note? A pound note? What's the catch?
I need your cap and coat.
Cap and coat? Cap and coat? What's the game? Spit it out.
I need to make a getaway.
Do a bunk?
Yes.
What you been up to?
I'm going to have to trust you. There's been a murder committed on the first floor.
Murder? Murder? By who? By you?
No. By those 2 men over there.
Oh, I see. So now they're waiting good as gold for a copper to come and arrest them, eh?
It's true, I tell you. They're spies, foreigners. They murdered a woman in my flat, and now they're after me.
Oh, come off it. Funny jokes at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Fine. I'll tell you the truth. Are you married?
Well, yeah, but don't rub it in.
Well, I'm not, you see. I'm a bachelor.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, but I've been...
Thank you, Ainsley. Canadian parents are always looking for ways to make sports more affordable for their kids. In Nova Scotia, the operators of a local rink found a way to cut costs and pass some savings on to families. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth with the innovation that helps their bottom line.
This community-run arena is always fully booked with hockey games and figure skating sessions. It's also an expensive facility to run, which is why the operators applied for a federal Green Initiative grant. Recently, they scored a big win.
$1.3 million.
That money will cover the cost to convert from electricity to solar power later this year, making it the first solar-powered arena in Nova Scotia. The switch could be a game changer, shaving off more than $14,000 a month in expensive power bills.
But what this is going to do for us is generate income to support the operation over the long term.
Those who use the arena hope the savings will allow it to continue to be a community destination for sports events.
It's the hub. It's the hub of Sackville. Learning about the history of this arena and the people that have made this arena possible. We're in a position now where I think that we can actually make this rink strong for another 50 years.
By making this rink more sustainable and financially viable, operators can use the money they save to renovate and upgrade the facility.
No arena makes money. The operating season is too short.
A new concrete pad under the ice surface and upgraded boards will now be affordable.
That's another $600,000 project.
By keeping costs down, Smith hopes to pass savings on to local families, giving sports a brighter look for people who use this soon-to-be solar-powered arena. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Again, that little slice of light just out along the horizon there. Well, the sun will be rising above those clouds soon, and then it might disappear briefly. I do expect that we'll see more of that sunshine as these clouds break up later on today. Temperature-wise, we're still doing okay, though we have dropped another degree, and we might see those temperatures dipping slightly through the day today, but still remaining well above seasonal. Just for a reference point, minus 19. That would be a normal low this time of year. Many of us, well, all of us, are well above that. There's still a couple of places that are in the plus digits. 1 degree right now in Brandon, 3 in Portage in the Morden-Winkler area. And if you are below the freezing mark, it's only by a few degrees. Unless you're further up into northern Manitoba, then you're pushing up into those mid to high minus teens. But even that, compared to what you would normally be at this time of year, we're all enjoying these mild temperatures. Heavier clouds across the north, less so here in the south, although we looked out there and it is looking a little bit gray at this time. But as those clouds break up through the day, we'll see increasing amounts of sunshine. Temperatures themselves might hold steady. We could drop off another degree. I mean, we're sitting at minus 3 right now. That does still keep us well above the seasonal minus 9. And in fact, even overnight as we drop to minus 8 above daytime highs, never mind normal overnight lows. Tomorrow, slightly cooler, slightly heavier clouds expected. From there, a little more sunshine returning and these temperatures on the rise through the rest of the week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Mayor Scott Gillingham has just returned from a trip to Ottawa where he had meetings with other mayors from other Canadian big cities, but also got a chance to have a sit-down with Prime Minister Mark Carney. Joining us now to tell us more about his trip is Mayor Scott Gillingham. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning. Good to be here again.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, a whole week in Ottawa, all kinds of meetings. First of all, let's talk about your meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney. How did that go?
I think it went well. I mean, we met as a group of big city mayors from across Canada. We all, as mayors, and face the same or similar challenges in our cities. There's really nothing that is unique in Canadian cities. The focus of our meeting with the Prime Minister was really about the federal budget that came out in the fall, and in that budget they announced funding for cities, especially for infrastructure. And we said to the Prime Minister, we need that funding as cities, we need that funding to flow as quickly as possible. For example, we've got a construction season coming up in 2026. We need federal money to be committed and in cases to flow so that we don't miss any aspect of that construction season.
And he was quite receptive, even writing notes and such. Yeah,
he's very attentive for sure. He was writing notes, and Federal Minister, the Housing Minister, Gregor Robertson, was also in the meeting, and they were communicating in the meeting about trying to work with mayors, in cities to get this this funding moving.
And extortion was something that came up that you'd like to see sort of a federal mandate on extortion. Tell us why that is important, not just here, but across the country.
There are two cities where extortion is really a problem in Canada, Brampton and Surrey, and the mayors of those cities are, in this group that I'm in. But also we've seen extortion here in Winnipeg. In fact, if you remember, just a couple weeks ago, the Winnipeg Police Service arrested 5 individuals on extortion charges. They're alleged to have been involved in extortion that has impacted some local small businesses. And so it is a problem in Canada. It's a big problem in Brampton and Surrey, but it's becoming a problem here. The rings that are involved in this extortion, it plays out locally, but some of it is kind of international in its scope and maybe even international. And so we need the federal government, the Canada Border Service Agency, all the police services, the RCMP, to be working together. I know our Winnipeg Police Service is on this. They're working in partnership already with the RCMP and other kind of national entities to try to get a handle on this and to stamp it out.
Are you looking for punishments as well for some of these people involved in extortion?
Well, certainly anyone who's involved in crime, should be arrested for sure and held to account for the crimes that they would commit, if indeed convicted. But because this is not just a localized issue, extortion is something that there seems to be connections, throughout Canada to some of these rings. We really need, more than the Winnipeg Police Service to be involved in helping to get a handle on this. And so that was really our call as mayors, is to call on the federal government to use all of its powers and agencies to work with local municipal police services and the RCMP to identify these individuals, prevent it, identify the individuals, arrest where appropriate, convict.
There was another major arrest this past weekend on a chronic retail theft offender as well. What is your stance or your thoughts on the fact that they're continuing to catch these people?
Well, it shows the work that our police service is doing to focus on retail crime and other crime as well. I know not that long ago there was another drug bust, and so our police service, we've added more police officers. We've made bigger investments in the Winnipeg Police Service, and our police service is working hard to reduce crime and to hold, to identify these individuals who are committing crime and causing problems in our city, and even certainly violent offenses in our city, to identify them, arrest them, make sure that they get to trial, and where convicted, they need to be held accountable.
Okay, let's talk about the federal gun buyback program and what your stance is on that.
Well, the federal government rolled out a federal buyback program for illegal guns, and personally, I think there's legal gun owners, and they're not the problem. The problem is the illegal guns, some of which are pouring across the border to the United States. However, our police service, the mayor and council do not direct the Winnipeg Police Service, and our police service chose to participate in the program, and in doing so, they have they've signed up with the federal government to receive the funds to cover the cost of that. And I support the police in that. The Winnipeg taxpayers should not pay for a federal program.
Okay.
And so we've entered into an agreement with the federal government that the compensation or the costs associated with operating that program will be fully covered by the federal government. And I support the police in that decision.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for giving us some time again this morning. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it is so pleasant when you step outside. I'm sure if you were out at all over the weekend, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This mild weather that settled in for the weekend and will stick around through the entire week. -3 is where we're sitting. And I say the weather will stick around, but we might actually feel it dropping off a degree or two still throughout the day today. But coming in so far above normal, we could drop off a few degrees and still remain above seasonal. There's a bit of a breeze, but even that is tapered. A 13K wind right now out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 88%. We do have some heavier clouds that are hanging over us right now, but I anticipate that they'll be breaking up a little bit right over the Winnipeg area, allowing a little more sunshine for us into the afternoon. These temperatures I mentioned, we might still lose a degree or so, but -9 is a normal daytime high. We're certainly going to remain above that. In fact, even in the overnight hours, we're only going to drop to about -8. Now, there is the possibility that we could see some scattered flurries overnight here in Winnipeg, because throughout the day today, they will be passing through central and northern Manitoba. So expecting those areas to have some heavier clouds and maybe a little bit of light snow as well. Now, tomorrow will be probably the coolest day of the week after dropping to about -8. We'll only rise a couple degrees tomorrow, but later on throughout the week, mercury really trends upwards, and we could find ourselves up around the freezing mark, maybe even in the plus digits later through the week. So get that wintertime fun in while you can. The snowmobilers were certainly out in full force over the weekend. Thanks to Terry for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Thank you, Terry. We have a traffic alert to let you know about right now. A collision is blocking the northbound curb lane at both middle lanes on Pembina at Grant, so you should expect delays in this part of the city. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. The Netflix hit show Love is Blind shows people looking for love tucked inside booths where they have dates with people they can't see across the wall. The Winnipeg Improv Festival is using that concept and turning it into a Valentine's Day take on the popular reality show. It's a double feature. The first called Love is Blank and the second called Yours Truly. And joining us now to tell us more about the Valentine's Day show is Katie Curtis from the Winnipeg Improv Festival. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. We're just talking on the break how much we love Love is Blind.
Yeah.
You sort of get swept away in the love stories that happen in there, and then get swept away when they fall apart, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
But let's talk about why you wanted to use that reality show as part of this concept.
There's something about Love is Blind that's so funny, but so sincere at the same time, and that's a lot of the work we do when we're improvising, is we're trying to be sincere, but it's also very funny. We're just interested in seeing different characters, see if they can actually find love in a pod.
Okay, so you have double feature. Tell us exactly what they're going to look like.
So at 7 o'clock is the Love is Blank show, and that's based on Love is Blind. So we'll build the characters that go into the pods based on people that the audience have dated in real life.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see if they can find love. And then 9 o'clock is a show called Yours Truly, which is based on love letters, and it's a very sweet, sort of sincere show.
And how do you do improv with that second show?
So with that, we'll be looking at love letters. We're going to get the audience to write Valentines that they can't send.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit about why this is a great date event to go with your sweetie.
There's so many reasons. Laughing together is so fun. It's so connecting. I think going to a comedy show is also great to find out what other people laugh at. So you got to go with your date and see if you're laughing at the same things, and then you'll know if it's a good connection.
And why did you want to do something for Valentine's Day?
Well, I love Valentine's Day. A lot of us do. I know some people get down on Valentine's Day, but we love celebrating love and relationships, and there's so much there for comedy.
And so for someone who's going out on the town with their sweetie, what do you want them to think about when they're heading out?
I think having an open mind and considering, like, appreciating your own love, but also laughing at other people's loves and all of the things that go wrong on the way to finding love.
And it's really a great date thing to do after dinner, right? It's sort of geared for that?
Absolutely, yeah. You can hit the 7 o'clock show before cocktails, or you can come to the 9 o'clock show after dinner. It's just a lovely addition to a night out.
And love is just something that it's easy to enjoy, but it's also easy to laugh at as well, right?
It is, yeah. I'm sure anyone you ask has a terrible dating story or some miscommunication, something that's been lost on the path to love somewhere. And everybody feels that. We all want to root for love to win, so it's easy to kind of get lost in that.
Tell us about some of the performers that'll be part of the show.
Oh, the performers are incredible. We have stand-up comedian Kristen Anderson is going to be heading up the Love is Blank show. She's very funny, and she's a huge Love is Blind fan. Okay. We've also got Steven Sim, Kevin Rambaran, a whole cast of characters from the Winnipeg Improv Festival.
Okay, so if someone wants to get tickets to the event, what should they do before we get close to that timeline?
Yeah, you should get tickets in advance or at the door. You can get them at 3 Common. Go to winnipegimprov.com.
And where's it happening?
At the Gas Station Arts Center.
Okay, so you could just show up at the door there
You can.
and get tickets for Valentine's Day. Go out for dinner first and then go there and have a cocktail and have some laughs.
Exactly.
Thank you, Katie, for sharing this with us. If you want more information, we have a link on our website. Here's a look outside at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Things are moving quite smoothly over here. It looks good so far. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
All right, it is incredibly mild. It was beautiful all weekend long, mild but messy, and that'll obviously be the case again today as these temperatures remain well above seasonal. Now, you can see we're lacking in sunshine at this time. Heavier clouds hanging over the city, but I do expect that we're going to see those clouds clearing throughout the day today. -3, barely a breeze. It's a 13K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 88%. So with those clouds expected to clear as the day goes on, we will likely see increasing amounts of sunshine. Where the clouds aren't likely to clear is all through central and northern Manitoba. And you can see that cloud cover a little more dense. With those clouds, there will likely be a little bit of light and scattered snow, which, by the way, could pass through overnight. But throughout the day, the clouds that are hanging around, you can see right there the clearer conditions, and we might notice some of that clearing happen as the day continues on. -3, we've been watching it drop off over the course of the morning. We were, in fact, at +3 earlier on this morning. We'll deal with this wind. It will at times be stronger, up to 40 clicks out of the northwest, and still with those northwest winds gusting overnight as we drop down to -8. Now that still keeps us above a seasonal daytime high, -9, normal for this time of year. But in the overnight hours, there is the possibility of some scattered flurries passing through. Then tomorrow, flurries taper off. We might have a few extra clouds hanging around. Slightly cooler temperatures expected through Tuesday, but still above normal and still likely to warm up. The rest of the week, mercury soaring. We could be up around the freezing mark. We could even hit some plus digits, and there is likely to be a lot more sunshine through the latter part of the week, and even sticking around at least into the start of the weekend. By Sunday, still very mild. We could see some heavier clouds moving in.
Thank you, Terry. 2 people were sent to hospital after a car crash on Sunday. In an email to CTV News, Winnipeg police say officers were sent to the 700 block of St. Mary's Road just before 10:30 a.m. on Sunday after a report of a single motor vehicle collision. One blue pickup truck was seen near the intersection of St. Mary's Road and Fermor Avenue with visible damages. 2 occupants were sent to hospital, one in stable condition, but the other in unstable condition. The Central Traffic Division is investigating. Protesters gathered at CF Polo Park on Sunday to show their solidarity with Iranians.
We have people that their family member is arrested and they're so worried about them because now they show that without going through a legal process, they just execute people and just because they just be in the street.
About 60 people gathered at the parking lot of CF Polo Park Sunday afternoon, voicing opposition to the Iranian regime's crackdown on protesters. The lion and sun flags were seen along with signs showing casualties from the crackdown. Volunteer Jali Parsai says they are bringing awareness, calling for a democratic and secular country led by the exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Pahlavi, currently living in the U.S., has been vocal on the protest on his social media in support of the protesters. The nationwide protests in Iran started in late December, expressing anger over cost of living and water and electricity shortages. There are renewed calls from international health officials now, urging Canada to strengthen its response to measles.
The number of cases have slowed down, but they're not gone. And we know that tragically measles will continue to circulate until we get to a herd immunity threshold.
The Pan American Health Organization has issued an alert calling on countries in North and South America, including Canada, to intensify vaccination efforts and disease surveillance. About 5,500 measles cases have been recorded nationwide since the outbreak started last fall. And Health Canada data shows in 2026, a total of 94 cases have already been reported in 6 provinces, with the highest numbers in Alberta and Manitoba. Our province tops the list with 44 reported cases so far this year. The unemployment rate dropped in January. It came in at 6.5%, but the rate is almost double that for young people. CTV's Kathy Lee with some of the reasons why younger Canadians just can't seem to catch a break.
Thank you. This is the job hunt up close, and for young people in Canada, it's tough.
I would like for the admin position.
20-year-old Angelica Vidal has applied for more than 200 jobs in the last year with no luck. She's hoping that changes at this job fair in Calgary.
Maybe 1 or 2 will interview me and give me a chance.
Statistics Canada says unemployment fell slightly in January to 6.5%, while the youth jobless rate dipped to 12.8% as fewer people looked for work. The Immigrant Education Society helps bridge employers with job seekers. Maysoon Hanady says those numbers are still high.
We don't see that it's getting better. Like, we see that it might take a while before things kind of stabilize.
The Immigrant Education Society says it used to take its clients about 2 months to find a job. Now that timeline has tripled. That timeline applies to positions that require experience and starter roles, like what Vidal is looking for.
Every other job is saying you need to have this years of experience, you need to have this level experience, but we're not getting accepted at this very entry-level job. So where are we supposed to get this experiences?
In many cases, the entry-level market is saturated, adding to the challenge.
It's not that the youth are just competing with themselves. They're also competing with low-skilled people who are having a hard time finding jobs and having to move down into the jobs that would normally be taken up by teenagers or young people.
There's my resume.
Despite the competition, young people like Vidal hope that employers will just give them a chance. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Here's a look at what's happening now along St. Mary's Road. You can see things have really built up over here, but overall I think they're just sitting at a light, moving quite well in this part of the city. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is at $1.22. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.23. And the lowest price in the city is $1.12. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. For our question of the day, today's National Pizza Day, we asked, are there any ingredients that you would never put on a pizza? Keith would never eat anchovies or olives. Susan says sardines or anchovies. Kelly would never put chicken on a pizza. Anchovies, onions, any kind of peppers. Isabella says she's allergic to them. That's a good reason. Lindsay shared pineapple. It does not go on pizza, she says. Never olives on a pizza for Sandy. Marlene would never put shrimp or fish on a pizza. Henry prefers his pizza with no olives. He just can't seem to like them. And James says the easiest question ever, anchovies. And he says, yuck. Well, thank you so much for your responses. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Hood and Dagger, their latest production, and it's all for a good cause, too. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. It is For Agape Table. 39 Steps is the name of the production at the Gas Station Theatre, kicking out February 24th. The executive director joins me, Crystal Hood, and this is the space that that they're utilizing, and it's pastors joining me as well. Scott McCulley, thank you so much for being here today. So tell us a little bit about this one, because there's a lot of community involvement.
Well, thanks so much for coming here, Ainsley. Yeah,
Hood and Dagger Productions, we're all about building community through community theatre. And part of that, we invite opportunities for everyday Winnipeggers to get involved in the arts and realize the mental health benefits of getting involved. And we also partner, part of community is with local businesses. So High Tea Bakery and Hood Mystery Bookstore will have booths in the lobby. And Agape Table will be receiving a portion of ticket sales, and we're doing a 50-50 for Agape Table. So for only $25, you get a great show, you get to support local businesses, and you get to support Agape Table as well. And we're also super happy about our partnership with the Prairie Spirit United Church, which is a great, fantastic space that we would do all our rehearsals in.
Mm-hmm. And that's so, like, nothing screams community like that, bringing people together in a number of ways. Scott, why did you want to combine, or I guess have them utilize the space as well?
Well, as a church, on the banner coming into our doors, it says Jesus welcomed everyone. So do we. We see that being lived out in community partnerships, in the neighborhood and the church being one. That this is a space not just for us to worship on Sunday mornings, but for the community to feel comfortable in. I couldn't think of a better partner than somebody whose mission statement is building community through community theater. It just fits with who we are in our welcoming mission.
Mm-hmm. And I hear that the production is quite funny too. So how can people get tickets?
Yeah, hoodanddagger.ca, only $25 at hoodanddagger.ca, and 2 shows have sold out, but there's still 3 shows with tickets left. So buy now and have a great show and support community in so many ways.
Here's a teaser.
Oh, hello.
No, sir, no, I don't mean... It's the police, sir, Mr. O'Hammond. We got my baby.
Police? What are they doing here?
You must go now while there's still a chance.
Hey! I think I know! Making love behind me back. Get out! And as for ye...
Well, no, wait just a moment here, my friend.
No, go. It's your only chance of liberty.
No, you don't understand. She was only trying to help me.
Aye, to bring shame and disgrace upon me house.
If you must know, I'm wanted by the police.
Police?
Yes, for murder.
Murder? Police?
Tell them in. Say I'm not here.
How much?
I'm here with you while £5?
In cash?
Will you take a check?
Don't be funny with me.
Pay him.
Very fun. All right, let's go to the rooftop now. Terry, what's a not item on your pizza?
Oh, I heard some people mention pineapple, and I love pineapple.
I
not
do
just
too.
with the ham. Like, you put pineapple and feta. I'm like sweet and salty. Hello,
Yes,
love that.
me
Do you know
too.
what I don't like? And this is controversial. Barbecue chicken. I know there's like a lot of pizzas that are like centered around the barbecue chicken.
Yeah. I agree with you. I hate it too.
Interesting. See, I would join your pizza party. Everybody else. That's why we can do half and halves on pizza, right? Make everybody happy. All right, I think Mother Nature's making a lot of us happy with the weather that she's been dishing up. We enjoyed it over the weekend, these mild and above seasonal temperatures, and we're going to enjoy them throughout the rest of the week. It's -3 right now. The breeze is light, just 13 clicks. It's out of the west-northwest with the pressure rising and the humidity at 88%. It's cloudy right now, but I think we'll likely see a bit of clearing. Not everybody. In fact, Winnipeg might be one of the few places that sees that clearing later on today, allowing a little more sun to shine through for us. Many places, especially through central and northern Manitoba, could see more than clouds, even the possibility of scattered flurries, which might pass through the Winnipeg area in the overnight hours, tapering off for tomorrow. Tomorrow might be slightly cooler. Today, we'll watch the temperature fall, but still remain above seasonal. And even though tomorrow might be one of the coolest days of the week, it too will remain above what is normal for this time of year. What is normal? -9, and instead will be a lot closer to the freezing mark, or maybe just a few degrees below. In fact, there's a day later on this week that we could hit some plus digits. It's going to be a messy week. It's going to be mild all throughout, so prepare for that. We're taking a break. We'll be back.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. Canadians know how hard it is to find a family doctor. Some doctors say paperwork and other administrative tasks means less time in the week to help patients. CTV's John Venevalley Rao reports.
We met with Dr. Fan Wah Meng at her home.
where she's happily spending more time these days after stepping back from working as a family doctor, driven out of it, she says, by mounting paperwork.
I wasn't just seeing patients anymore. There was more and more documents filling my inbox.
Dr. Mang says she spent up to 20 hours a week, often on her computer, filling out government and insurance forms which never seemed to end, and reading reports from pharmacies she felt were unnecessary.
Even notes from patients, I need you to fill in this form, I need you to fill in that form. And it's not their fault. The form comes from their employer, or the form comes from some organization that says, look, if you want this, I need a note from a doctor.
Starting to experience burnout in 2024, she left her practice, which had been there for more than 20 years. The clinic was closed and emptied, and she said goodbye to 1,000 patients. A recent survey found a quarter of doctors are considering leaving medicine or retiring early for some of the same reasons.
It's harder to recruit into the family practice specialty because of the concerns there.
Family doctors reported spending an average 10 hours a week doing paperwork and deemed 47% of it unnecessary red tape, calling for the amount of it to be reduced and forms simplified or standardized.
More than half of those surveyed said the amount of time they spend on administrative tasks had increased over the last year.
And in response, 54% said they're considering cutting their working hours. Dr. Caitlin Christie says she started experiencing major burnout after returning to work following the birth of her twin boys. She says the workload, including all of the paperwork, were too much, and she thought about quitting, but switched to seeing patients 3 days a week, which has helped.
Me making these changes now, it does come at a cost, but it means that I'm more likely to be here in general family practice like 10, 20 years from now, because the rate that I was going at before, I was ready to leave medicine.
And some worry more will quit if, among other things, the paperwork problem isn't addressed. John Valley-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
When it comes to love, chocolate really springs forth the loving sensations. That's why many lovers share the sweet treat with their honeys on Valentine's Day. And joining us now with some Valentine's Day chocolate gift ideas is Constance Menzies with Chocolatier Constance Pop. Good morning, Constance.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Yes, you too.
Happy Valentine's Day season for you. I'm sure this is a busy time for you as you get ready for the day, which is coming up on the weekend. Why does chocolate speak love to us?
It's made of love. It makes you feel love, and Valentine's is, it's just a fun event.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not take it seriously, but it's a nice time to make things and to give things and to do things for someone or for yourself. So what we've got here is a nice raspberry, strawberry cream cocktail.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
Well, I'm going to start with some ice in here because we want it to be nice and cold.
Okay.
And we're going to put that in there, easy peasy. Then I thought, as these fruits are so, they're heart.
Yes.
They're heartwarming. So we've got some cranberry juice.
Perfectly red for Valentine's.
Perfectly red for Valentine's, yes. And then we're going to throw in some raspberries and some fresh strawberries, which are all in the stores right now, and some sweets for your sweeties. And a little bit of flavoring is also really great. So I've got some nice raspberry liqueur, and then just a touch of almond extract. You can put vanilla, you don't have to put any at all, but I just find that it just adds another complexity to your drink. And because it is a cream, I like a little bit of half and half cream in there.
Okay.
So there you go. You pretty
really
much
nice
got
already.
your, it's a pretty drink too. So you've got your...
something you could easily do at home.
Easily do at home. You've got a blender, just mix it up. Whoops. Probably didn't tighten that well enough. It doesn't take long or take much.
This is likely going to happen at home anyway.
Well, that's what paper towels are for. Okay, and so then we'll just do this.
Okay.
Pour that into here. See, I didn't mix it long enough, but that's fine. Oops, I'll have that one, Rochelle.
Looks lovely.
You just mix it a little longer next time. And if you can put sprinkle some chocolate on it. There, I should have mixed it a little longer, but that's okay. We don't have a lot of time, good people. I feel like I shouldn't get more time than the mayor. Oh yes, keep putting that on.
Lots of chocolate.
You do taste the chocolate, so if you put lots of chocolate in there, that is very awesome.
I want more.
You'll just have a sip on yours, and then put another little decoration on there. There's some little snowflakes to put on yours.
Oh yeah, look at these little snowflakes.
Cute little snowflakes.
You have so many.
They're sugar, so they're like another little layer of sweetness on there. And they're nice texturally. And look how pretty that looks.
It's gorgeous.
So cheers to you.
Happy Valentine's Day. You have all these lovely chocolates as well that you are that are available.
Oh yeah. You? The almond?
Oh yeah. Oh, wow.
All the fruity.
There's a little bit of crunch in there.
But mix it longer in your mixer. That was a little bit too short.
Really lovely. Okay, you have beautiful heart-shaped chocolate on sale right now.
We
What do you want
do.
people to
This
know?
is this nice maple buttercream with toffee bits on the back of it. It's my favorite thing we're making this Valentine's. Everything else is also good too, but there's something for everyone.
Where are you located?
180 Provence in beautiful St. Boniface.
Constance.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, I think a lot of us have been loving these mild temperatures. What an incredible weekend we're coming off of, and this beautiful stretch of weather will continue. Could be too warm for some. Listen, I'm not here making the rules. I'm just going along with what Mother Nature is dishing up, and that is a mild day. -3 is where we're sitting right now. 13K winds out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising. The humidity... Okay. Yeah, we're doing a show here. Thanks. Okay, 88% is where that humidity is sitting. Sorry, we got the blenders going all of a sudden again. We can try your drink after. Don't you worry about that. We'll get a chance to taste it all. Here across northern Manitoba, heavier clouds. We will perhaps see a little bit of light and scattered flurry activity. That could be coming through into the afternoon overnight. A lot of places throughout the province today could be dealing with that. So a little bit of light and scattered flurry here in Winnipeg just in the overnight hours, but the temperature will be dropping off as the day goes on. Now, tomorrow, a little bit cooler, slightly below or slightly cooler than the rest of the week, but still above seasonal. -9 is a normal daytime high, and you can see the rest of the week it continues to heat up. It's going to be looking good. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we kick things off and say goodbye with a very unique friendship.
Everybody finds somebody somewhere.
Yes, Bella.
There's no telling where.
They're watching TV together. Bella loves her pet snake, Gizmo. They literally do everything together, from watching TV to dancing to reading and, of course, cuddling. And don't worry, Gizmo is a ball python, and it's not poisonous. It's a unique friendship.
I like that we need these disclaimers. It's okay what we're showing you.
Yeah, she's okay. Now to something you can do with your human friends. It's called the Post-it Note Dance-Off for obvious reasons. All you have to do is get the little pieces of your papers off your body without using your hands. It's all about your moves, and it's a great workout, too. This would be a fun thing to do at a Christmas party.
That looks a little like the Super Bowl show.
And then finally to a hungry baby and white chicks reference.
The steak smothered in onions, a rack of ribs, pasta with extra garlic, French fries with lots of vinegar, and a side of onion rings with lots and lots of sauerkraut.
Look at his eyes. This baby is tasting steak for the very first time. He loves it, obviously. No teeth, no problem. He can't stop gnawing at the juicy piece of meat and even grabs it with both hands. That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.